Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
1-2 from Kelly. Abrams left to left. That's going to fall for a base hit. Robert Absal's being waved around third. The throw to the plate is up high. And the Nets win it. C.J. Abrams delivers, and this game is over.
Perkins, right field. Hit well. It is gone for Blake Perkins. His third home run of the road trip, and the Brewers open it up against Strider and the Braves.
3-2 hit well by Adams down the line. Into the corner it goes. Right over the Budweiser side for Riley Adams. And these two teams trade solo shots in the sixth. It's 1-1.
Clement to left field, and that baller's gone. His sixth of the year, and Ernie's fourth hit of the game. The Blue Jays have scored 20 runs today.
I think it's great. You know, I kind of told them it's kind of like a glorified practice, and we're doing fan day before it, so it should just be a really fun day for everybody. And a little different than in the past because we do have the alumni match to really use as our like dress rehearsal. So this is more of we should enjoy it. We'll have a lot of different teams, and I think it'll be a really fun event from start to finish.
Good morning. Welcome into Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centrist Federal Credit Union. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. What's up, DB?
How we doing?
We're doing good. How are you?
Are you just saying that?
No, I'm doing all right.
All right. Hey,
I did have a little moment in the car.
I did too.
Did you?
Okay, let's talk about your moment.
So,
Un momento, please.
it'd be por favor. Por favor. I didn't eat very much yesterday. I just wasn't very hungry. So
Yeah.
Not like sick or anything, just wasn't really that hungry.
Dude, I'm riding with you, man. I thought I was just going to engulf stuff.
Yeah, you're just easing back into it.
Baby steps.
Yeah, I didn't eat very much yesterday. And so I was like, okay, I'm cool. Just went to bed, wasn't hungry. Got up this morning. I was like, okay, starting to feel a little bit hungry already. Have you ever done that thing where like your stomach, like you are to the point where you're hungry, where you almost feel nauseous?
No.
Okay, because that's
no. Okay, sure. I'm not going to fight you.
like
over
nauseous
semantics.
might be the wrong word, but
yeah,
like
I've been lightheaded.
okay.
I've definitely been lightheaded.
So when I do that, sometimes, not always, which that doesn't happen very often because you know me, I like to eat. But sometimes when I do that, the first couple bites of the thing, my stomach feels like it's like attacking it.
Yeah.
And sort of cramps.
Yeah.
That happened in the car on the way to the show this morning, and I was like, this is a really bad time for this to happen.
Okay, so
It was a Pop-Tart in the car.
what happened? Did you eat it?
I did. I ate half of one of them, and I was like, ooh, that's a little rough.
Okay, so you have some more little kid food over there.
Yeah.
What is it?
So we got these we got our Ritz cheese and cracker deals here.
You know that's not real cheese, right?
Yeah, I'm aware. I'm okay with it. I wanted something a little savory, and so I went away from the Pop-Tarts. I had the Pop-Tart in the car because I was like, I want to make sure the blood sugar doesn't go low. But then the stomach thing happened, and so we're at the Ritz right now.
One of the joys of being your boy is sometimes unprompted or unsolicited, I think of you.
Okay.
Right? We greater than me.
Yeah.
So I'm at Costco yesterday.
Okay.
There's no less than 14 things I would like to bring to you.
Okay.
But I'm just going to tell you how you being purposely obtuse, sometimes a little snide,
Okay.
and often standoffish sways my behavior, which you know I hate. When somebody else gets to influence or dictate my behavior,
Yeah.
it is like I might as well jump off a bridge.
Well, don't do that.
Hey, listen.
Don't do that.
Not to make light of any of you bridge jumpers that have survived. If you haven't, you're not listening to me anyway.
Facts.
Like our volleyball coach, just keeping it a buck.
I voted for us #1.
Wow. We'll get to that as we talk to Lincoln Arneal,
I think we're pretty good.
which might be my first.
Talking to Lincoln?
Yeah.
I haven't talked to him on air before. I've talked to him like at Supernovas matches, stuff like that.
So I'll get to. Well, let me just finish this thought. You know the interesting thing about Lincoln,
What's that?
and he's gonna probably chuckle. He comes across with his delivery
Mhm.
as a little intimidating,
Oh,
but I think it's just
he's very
how
passionate.
how he communicates, and he is definitely the expert in
for
his
sure.
field.
Absolutely. Which is
Right.
why we're talking to him. AVCA preseason polls came
So
out
it's
last
like
night.
I kind of leave him alone on social media.
Yeah, I follow him, I'm pretty sure, but I don't interact with him much. I honestly, he's a great source of info for me because he obviously keeps a better tab on things than I do. Anyway, you're at Costco and you didn't buy me anything. What happened?
Okay, because I almost feel like this is real.
Okay.
100% real. I almost feel like it's not little kiddish enough for you. I'm glad you thought that was funny, Shane, because I'll push the cart.
Yeah.
And yesterday was super. I only spent $64 at Costco.
That's
yesterday.
incredible.
I got a 3-pack of cheese.
I'll say that's like 2 items.
I got a 3-pack of cheese. I got a package of organic chicken tenders. I'm past the breast because I'm like, how often do we just cook a whole breast? We always cut it up anyway,
with it, right?
Right. So I went with the tenders,
Mhm.
and
The non-breaded, just like the strips.
yeah, like fresh.
Yeah.
Cut them in their little packages.
Mhm.
And there was one more protein. I can't remember. And this time I remembered to get the bag of ice before I checked out. So I only had one receipt.
There you go.
Oh, I got organic eggs, which I didn't want to because I'm spoiled. I've been getting them from Clausen. And Les, but I can't always count on him, so I'm gonna have to cut the middleman out. I mean, this is America, right? We're cutting out. Hey, build in America, damn it.
Is that how that goes?
That's how I envision it.
Okay.
Well, when you have Triple H in the background of Oppressor, that's kind of how I feel it goes down. Like, what is Triple H like saying in meetings? Is he like, look? You know what? The Donald. He probably has some cool entrance. Can you imagine? Like Triple H used to have all the cool WrestleMania entrances.
Yeah.
By the way, I watched like a top 20 with Zoe the other day. 3 times, 3 different top 20s of WrestleMania entrances.
Sure. Why not?
Triple H has 2 entrances and all 3 top 20 of entrances. So I imagine he tells the Donald, like, this is how we're gonna approach the White House, give you a little swag, a little bravado, kind of wear like, you saw 300, right?
Mm-hmm.
I imagine like kind of rolling in like Xerxes, and then we hammer down the tariffs. You tell the dude from Apple, you listen, I'm gonna tell you what we're gonna do tomorrow. You're gonna be at this presser with me. We're gonna talk about this $100 billion over the next 4 years, and damn it, you're gonna build in America. You understand what I'm telling you? And my man from Apple was like, damn, you are rolling with Triple H in the corner. If this dude puts a move on me, I'm pretty sure my neck is done. So that's how you do business. You just strong-arm folks. So anyway, let's go back to Costco. Costco, I'm thinking to myself, man, this dude likes 54 sugars per serving. He cares 0 about carbs. So I'm flipping packages.
Okay.
I'm like, ooh, he would like these clean bars. 16, 17 grams of protein. Macros are good.
Mm-hmm.
You get 6.5 grams of fiber. Like, keep it regular. I'm big on the reg now.
Yeah.
Reg, I said REG.
Yeah.
All right. Just you like the twist.
What else would you have said?
Nah, I'm
all
keep
right.
it pushing.
Don't matter to me.
Exactly, Shador. By the way, enjoy your start.
Poverty franchise.
Can you tell your boys rocking 0 sleep? I mean 0.
Man, I know what I bring to the table.
0.
This could be interesting.
Yeah, I know. Well, Caleb didn't call till like 10:45, so I blame him. But anyway.
Come on, Caleb.
Well, it's his fault. He texts. He's like, hey, Dad, are you up? Text back, yeah. Call you when I get home. Don't worry. It's all great news. 40 minutes later, I text back. Man, yo, ...
Do you have to hit Caleb with the "you up" text? Like what?
You text me at 10 like I should be expecting something in the next 10 minutes, and it's 10:40, and I'm still like, WTH.
Well, I mean, streets around Lincoln sometimes can be tricky to get places.
So anyway, back to Costco. I look at every label.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah, man, this dude's not going to rock with this. He likes processed cheese. He likes fake peanut butter. He eats, like bread crust that could last through World War III. Like, you eat the foods that would battle with cockroaches for survival. And so I'm being serious. I'm glad you think this is funny.
It is funny.
So I don't do it, but I feel like I need to. And then I watch you eat this, and I'm like,
I mean, technically, I haven't eaten that yet.
And so this is what I can't get my mind around.
All right.
Sauter, I understand.
Uh-huh.
It's how he grew up. He's been conditioned.
Mm-hmm.
He's trained. It's acceptable for him to have the palate of a 4.5-year-old.
Okay.
I'm great.
I know. Listen, hardest working man, just ask you. I'm cool with that. But you?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if she's not Michelin, she's definitely at least in Ann Arbor or East Lansing, right?
Sure.
From a 5-star.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm telling you?
Yeah.
And your palate still sucks. You like fine wine. You love good scallops. You like a nice port. You wear capris and deck shoes and get on a yacht.
They're not capris.
And you eat Ritz, cheese crackers, and Uncrustables. I just try to figure out.
Can I explain it to you?
And
sure.
it's like,
sure.
First of all, it's not capris. They go all the way down to the.
But what do they
shoe.
call the pants that George Washington used to wear?
I don't wear those. They come up to the knees. Those are called, I believe they're called knickerbockers. They're like the
I'm going to need you to say that slow.
Knickerbockers.
Okay. Well, Chattanooga, the AAA team, just got in trouble, right?
I'm trying to.
Yeah, keep it a buck.
Trying to keep my pronunciation sharp here.
So I don't really want to be thinking about you in my downtime.
No, I get it.
But that's what it's forced me to do.
So let me explain to you the difference here. Because you're right. There is a wide disparity between the high end of my palate and the low end.
Dude, you spent $26 at a place where they had glass between us and the checkout clerk. And you didn't buy 1 ounce of alcohol. That is incredible. I'm going to say that again. You spent almost $30
yep.
in a place that has a glass window between us. No hot food, no alcohol. That is incredible.
So, first of all, part of that was medication, so that's going to jack the price up in a hurry.
What was medication?
You
got the travel size. It's $4.
No, it was not $4.
What's the other? We were practically in the hood. It was $4. Ain't nobody there buying Imodium unless they just ate at White Castle down the street.
I'm telling you, that Imodium was like $12.
What'd you get? 2 pills?
I got there was a little bit bigger bottle. It wasn't just the one-off.
All right.
So it was like $12 for the Imodium. Then the other part was, and this is expensive, is I got some of the like fancy Gatorade, like super electrolyte ones, because I was like peeing out my butthole basically. So I needed to make sure I could get hydrated again. Dude, and those are like $4 a pop.
You left so many snacks that they were bagged.
I did, yeah.
I'm low on the number. I know. Now that I think about it, I'm low on the $30.
It was like $30. It was over 30.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it was over $30. Here's the problem, though.
I mean, that's like going to Taco Bell, eating for one, and spending like $20. Like, you did work.
The annoying part is I didn't even end up eating half of that.
Oh, I know. We left it in the vehicle, and we're like, who do we give this to? It was such bad quality, I couldn't even give it to Ryder.
So here's the problem.
And she, at that time, was 5.
Here's the disparity in my palate, right? So you're right. I do like the nice fancy foods, my scallops and things like that. They're delicious. But I also have this history of needing quick processed carbs for the diabetes. So like,
that's funny you referred to it. That's the first time you put that accent mark on it.
The diabetes?
Diabetes.
I never say BDs. I don't. I never say it like that. I never say diabetes.
Betis?
Diabetes.
Betis?
I don't know. That's how it was said to me when I first got diagnosed. That's how I've always said it.
Okay. Listen.
A lot of people say beaties. I don't.
I don't knock the hustle.
Sometimes I'll just call it the beats, but
By the way, I asked my boy about that because it's been on my TikTok algorithm. beetroots.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, yeah, no, there's something else. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna trust you.
There's this kid on TikTok that he's a diabetic, and he's probably like, I don't know, like 8 years old or something, and he is like counting his carbs on his TikTok, and so that's the whole channel basically. But he comes in like super hot, and he's like got this southern accent. He's like, I got the diabetes. Let's see what's for lunch. I love that kid.
Really?
Yeah,
I'd rock with that.
Dude, he's great. He's like can't be. He's like 8 or 10 years old. I don't know how old kids are. Like I don't know. They're children. I don't know how old they are, but he.
Yeah, those little miscreants.
He just comes in super hot. I got the diabetes.
Hey, T-Mac is right. Walter Brimley. Do you remember those commercials?
Oh, yeah. People give me
that had to be when you were a kid if
Yeah.
you're rocking with Walt.
Yeah, so that's not where I got it from. Like literally the educators or whatever, the nurses when I got diagnosed, that's how they said it.
I like how you dropped the air quotes.
Well, I don't know what
were they fake nurses or they?
No, I did this for educators because I didn't know if that was their official title. Like they might have been doctors, but you have people that specifically come in and are like, hey, this is how you don't die. We've got like 40 years.
That's a little morbid.
I mean, that's the truth, man.
But as a kid, that's
Yeah.
what come on, man.
Basically. I mean, I'm going to tell you, peek behind the curtain here, right? So when you get diagnosed with diabetes, diabetes,
listen, no, I don't want it. No judgment from me. You can say it how you want.
When you get diagnosed with type 1, they basically give you a crash course, and they're like, hey, this is what insulin is. This is what it does. Don't screw up because too much or too little and you're dead. And I swear, like, I'm not kidding. Like, this is like, they might say it a little nicer than that, but
Shane, you rocking with that?
that's basically what they tell you. And you got, like, depending.
You're reminding of my endoscopy guy that told me about the percentages of choking on my own vomit. I was like, probably could have done without that. And guess what? If that happens to me, I'd have never known. I'm just out.
I know, but I
don't need to know.
They got to tell you, though, because then otherwise they get sued by your family.
Who's going to tell? Who's telling that he didn't tell me?
I don't know. I'm just saying.
It's me and him, and that's it.
I think there's a lot of malpractice suits that go around. They're just like, hey, I'm covering bases here.
Well, you got to understand.
Hey, you remember how I told Sky the joke when I first got to Game Day Men's Health? And she
Yeah.
didn't think it was funny?
I thought it was pretty funny.
It was hilarious.
I thought it was very funny.
Guess who else didn't find my jokes funny?
You told me the anesthesiologist guy.
Nope. I tried one before that.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, old Celeste was not having it.
No?
No. Made a joke about the stars and constellation, and she's like, yeah. I was like, dang. This is what we're on today, huh? I'm already terrified. Can somebody tell me some jokes?
Was she the one putting the IV in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she was a stone cold killer.
Yeah?
Bam.
One hit a quitter?
She's like, oh, you have some good veins. Oh, who did that one? I said, how you know that was an IV? She's like, oh, no, she didn't. Hers sucked too. Look.
Oof. Dude,
But
IVs
anyway,
never come out looking good.
she was offering to put it in my hand. I was like, there's not a lot of skin there.
That hurts. Oh, I've had them in the hand before. That hurts.
No, it's your boy. Like I've been under a ton, right? I'm
not
like,
a fan.
Let's not do that. Then they're already ugly. Like, I mean, what are we doing?
I mean, they look like hands. What do you mean?
Okay, who has knuckles like that? They look like they've been through a meat grinder. I mean, look at these.
This one's got. Okay, so when you hold them up like that, some of them are a little crooked.
Anyway.
But like if you're going like this, they look normal.
I just think people in the medical field don't like jokes. Because I'm not about to convince myself that I'm not funny.
So I think it depends on the situation you're in. If you're in like a one-off, like you were.
And I got a false sense of security because the first person that called me back, she asked me if I got my name right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, dang. I said, this is a thing. I said, are you joking with me? Or are we on candid camera? Because I don't think Damon is that hard.
Right, yeah.
And then she was telling me some funny stories of when she called people back in. And
I'm trying to figure out how else you would say Damon.
Yeah, like, I don't know.
Unless there's an apostrophe or something
you know how many
like
times people have said Damien? So then my childish butt.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm thinking in my head? But I'm going to say it out loud. I'm like, I'm just assuming, considering the clientele that I was looking at, there weren't a lot of people that look like me. Okay. So do those people have complicated names too? Like, what were you messing up? I'm just telling you how your boy thinks.
So there's a lot of whites in there.
Taylor?
Whatever you surmise is on you. I'm just in my head. I immediately thought, how complicated could it be?
I'm also assuming with what you were having done, probably a lot of old whites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very discouraging.
So probably not a lot of like
very discouraging.
Interesting names going on there.
You never know. I mean, older, like you switch over a little bit.
You get some Virgils in there. You never know.
There actually was one.
Was there?
That is funny.
That was the first old man name I could think of.
It's the second name called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's like an apostrophe, I could maybe get like a Damon or something, or I don't know.
I told you in education what we think when we see students' names that have apostrophes.
What's that?
High alert. Just saying.
What about like maybe like Damon? I don't know how else you're gonna say it.
Listen, I just was glad she had a good sense of humor.
I actually don't even think my name's that complicated to say, but people don't see it a lot, so I give them a little grace.
So Shane, is now a good time since we're all friends and we're in the tree of trust? What you thought his name was for 2 years?
Oh, he thought it was Ravi, didn't he?
I'm gonna let Shane do the talking.
Yeah.
What, Ravi?
He'd say, "Hey, do you want Robbie as a fill-in?" I'm like, "Who's that?" I had never worked with a Robbie. Not in my entire life.
Yeah.
I've never like, who's Robbie? And he goes, oh, I thought. Yeah. So all the bad spellings and stuff that you see up here?
Oh, he comes by honestly.
Yeah, he comes by super honestly.
My favorite part is
Shane, you're still my guy though.
When we first started doing the show together, is he would say my name correctly anytime we would talk.
Mm-hmm.
But then when he would tell a guest what my name is, it looked like Charles Barkley's golf swing. Like he would get like a hiccup in the middle of it. And I don't know what happened. Because we were talking to each other.
I tell you what he said this morning.
No, I'm past that.
Now, keep in mind, he's actually partaking in what he's explaining.
Yeah.
Shay, man, how you doing this morning, man? A little crabby. I'm about to shake it off, give myself a pep talk. I'm just watching some trailers, new trailers coming out. I was like, oh, man. I said, you got to tell me. I see these all the time. Like sometimes I go down the rabbit hole because I look at movie trailers before I actually watch them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I always click trailer, see if it's whatever. So inevitably, it goes to YouTube. And
you are a big movie trailer guy. You watch a lot of them.
Yeah. So I'm always trying to find what's real. So I go, hey, Shane.
What is up?
Exactly. Just trying to be more efficient, be better. I said, so are there any like cheat codes or like how do I know that a trailer is real?
Oh, yeah, because people kind of make their own fake trailers.
Yeah. Shane, have you legitimately answered the question to this minute? To this minute, have you answered the question correctly?
The cheat code
is never gave me an answer. He goes, well, sometimes when you're just looking it up, it's like, you just know, or I don't know. You just got to look it up. It just is what it is.
It's fine.
Is that about right?
That's not helpful at all.
Zero. Like, just tell me what you do.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do? So I get ready to pull the door open, and he goes, you just got to look it up. Good looking out.
This baby captures all the glory.
Like, what are we on?
I'll admit, sometimes it is hard to tell. Like, sometimes I usually have to look up whether or not that movie is coming out. And, like, I try and do, like, official trailer or stuff like that. But it's hard to tell sometimes. Because some of those fan edits are pretty good.
Well, just make sure it's from an official source, like Marvel Studios or IGN or from
what if
the
it's just like generic 2026 movie trailers?
Or from the studio that is from, like Paramount or something like that, or Warner
My
Brothers.
man is doing too much. Yeah, have you ever clicked on YouTube and they just roll them in succession? Like, hey, 2026 movie trailers.
And once you get on that, then you can go down the rabbit hole of it being if you get on that, the chances of you having a fake one is probably pretty high.
There you go. You got to make sure it's from the right studios.
I feel like I need one of those Rainbow Coalition stars with the little trajectory marks. The more I know.
Yeah.
Right, of course. Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
I think you're a dummy.
You want to get the Lance?
Not sure what to say.
Yeah, let's get them. Oh, it's Michigan Lance. Boy, it's early. No, it's in the 8 o'clock hour where he is.
I know.
Let's get to my man and see how he's doing.
Is he still on? We got Michigan Lance. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, good morning, boys. How y'all doing?
How are you?
Hey, man, I'm doing good, man. It's been the journey with my son in football and my girls in volleyball.
Is it running you ragged?
No, man, you just know how it is, man. The peaks and valleys, you know what I mean? The ups and downs, man. When you just had to. You talk about that bridge. I had to talk him off a bridge.
Listen,
So-
as you're well aware. Like I get it. It's hard.
Yeah.
You're not calling coaches. You got to ride it out. You know what you think is best. You don't know what to say. Are you saying too much? Are you letting them go through it on their own? Yeah, it's minute to minute, man.
Man, it is. But our good friend,
And on top of that,
Brandon
you got to keep the lights on.
Yes.
I know.
For sure, man.
Dude.
Yeah, and but that it's part of the journey, man. And I'm loving the process and the journey. Our good friend Brandon Williams told me that, like, hey, man, and enjoy the ride, enjoy the journey, like, because once it's over, it's over.
Yeah.
And so I am accepting that. You know what I mean?
Has dealing with Langston helped you be a better coach in general? Dang, it took you too long. The answer is no.
Yeah, not necessarily. No, man, I'm pretty good. And so what it's done is
okay.
Yeah, no, hey, man, I've been doing this really well a long time.
Not exactly what I was expecting to hear.
And being involved with kids since I was 20 years old.
Yeah.
And so this is something that I've always wanted to do, was work with kids, and I had a gift for that. And so then when it was all it is now, it's my kids' turn to get me, to get a coach that has been doing it very good. And so, that's what I love, that, hey, I'm giving them what I've been giving other kids for a long time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so
that has definitely kept me around with Micah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's hey, man, like, I've been giving it to all these other people. Hey, I'm for sure going to give it to my own.
Hey, listen,
you know what I mean?
So it is August 7th. So you guys are probably 34 games into your season, or 35? What are we talking about?
Ooh, dog.
I'm playing because you guys start in May.
Listen, okay. Hey, so that's one of the issues. He was like, he told Mom, I just been doing this, since he took a week off after the season and got right back to work.
Oh,
and he's like,
is he still just doing the one sport?
The one sport?
How many sports is he playing?
Oh man, this is football, basketball.
He's still hooping? I know he's doing track.
Yeah,
I thought that
he
okay.
is.
Okay. I just wondered if he got
it.
I just wondered when his break was.
No, but listen though.
Okay.
When I say he took a week off after football, no, after that, no, he still did football and basketball because he played JV. So I was like, hey, we still gonna continue to get this individual football work in. You know what I mean? I guess JV, you could do both. And so he's been doing football since December 18th with a couple breaks in between there. But it's always been, you know what I mean, in both. And so it's like, hey, I said, man, you've been putting all this work in. I said, so you telling me since you've been going, I said, so now you don't even want to see the rewards of it in the season? Like, you want to get zero?
Oh, man.
You know what I mean? Like, so all that work you put in, you want to stop now and it be zero. You get nothing out of it. Let's just see what it looks like. Let's just see. I know we got a week to our first preseason game.
Hey,
let's see what that looks like.
Can I just say this as your brother?
Go ahead.
Be careful.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Because that is one sport. I just had this conversation last night with Caleb about teammates and rigor and power four and how he see, just the fruition. I don't want to betray his confidence, but just protecting there's a fine line between competitive stamina and keep showing up versus I see this great big wall and you continue to do it anyway, like the wall will win. So be careful with him emotionally about blowing into his sails. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just got to let the ship cruise.
Exactly. I'm with you, man, and that's why I'm telling you.
Okay.
Because I knew you could give me some advice on this.
Okay.
That's exactly why I'm, because you don't answer off air, so I got to get it somehow.
Hey,
so that's what I needed to hear.
Can we have one conversation without a Larry Holmes? Like, I can do without the jab.
Larry Holmes?
You know what
I mean? It's not that bad. Yeah, hey, man, I'm sensitive too, right? You ain't the only sensitive person. I would just like to talk to my friends. That's all.
Oh, man, I'm glad you acknowledge I have feelings. Sometimes I think people forget.
Oh, man, and I do too. I think you forget sometimes. So, I know I'm tough and rough stuff. You know what I mean? Okay, this turned into something not.
Anyway, I do have a question, because Robbie's over here laughing. I don't know if he's entertained or he's just weird, but probably both. Do you have more confidence in Michigan or the Chicago Bears?
Oh man, that's Michigan by far.
By far?
Yeah, most definitely. Hey man, Chicago. Listen, we look.
Hey,
really
don't say anything when you take it on the chin down in Norman.
Ooh, really? You're a Venables guy. Is that his name? Venables, right?
Yeah.
Brent Venables. Oh,
yeah.
You're a Venables guy.
You're going to take it down, and you're going to take it on the chin down in Norman.
Hey, let me ask you this: Brent Venables can coach offense?
Hey. He's got he's got a new OC, and I hear you there. I don't know if it's going to pan out. Ravi doesn't like Mateer either, but
this is what I'm saying. I'm talking about as a head coach.
You're gonna score 13 points maximum.
And, hey, then we'll beat them 13-10.
Okay.
And guess what?
Okay.
We've played in a lot of those games last year. And so I think that's why because we're very comfortable in that.
Okay.
I don't think it'll come to that, but if it is, hey, we've had more success with that than them.
So,
see, here's the thing. Head coaches, right? See, these glorified coordinators disguising themselves as head coaches. The guy at USC, the offensive coordinator at USC, the defensive coordinator at Oklahoma. Stop being fooled by these guys. They're not head coaches. They don't know how to coach a team. So I'll take Sharon Moore, who's been through the fires, who knows how to coach a team, over Sharon Moore, over these guys.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, all day long.
Okay.
Come on, man. That dude don't know that dude's a defensive coordinator, man. He's not a head coach.
We're boys, so I'm not gonna rub it in, but. When they do win, but I do want you to remember this conversation. Because
no, that's fine.
Because at this time last year, you weren't sure on Sharon Moore either.
No, I wasn't. But hey, man, we went 7-5 with no quarterback. How did we do that and beat Ohio State and Alabama? I gotta give them some credit. Like, yeah, but before that was all like, man, what are we doing? Yes. And then, but he kept that defense together, patchy offense. Hey, man, that dude showed me, hey, man, you're a head coach. You kept your team together. The team never folded and broke down.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We've seen Brent Venables' team do that. We've seen them fold.
So let me ask you one more thing. Because relative to the division that the Bears play in, I do think Detroit comes back to the pack a little bit. I like Green Bay.
Yeah.
I like Minnesota. It's a tough division.
It is, man.
You talked about coordinators posing as head coaches. You're not vibing with Ben Johnson, or are you still in wait and see mode?
I'm wait and see mode.
Okay. At least you're consistent.
He hasn't done anything, man.
Okay.
He hasn't done anything. He's Caleb Williams. We don't know what that's going to look like still. He's on his second coordinator. I mean, Yeah, it's a way more question marks
last year
than
didn't even
Michigan.
count. For him to function at a
I'm with you.
relatively high level with that staff and a lame duck
Right.
at that, you ought to give him a little.
No.
You ought to get a little more love.
No, most definitely. I'm not throwing them out. I'm not throwing them out. Hey, man, I've been a Bears fan a long time and been waiting on this. And I'm excited how the offseason went with moves that they made. I just need to see a product on the field where I can be like, okay, all right. Like, hey, man, you know what still haunts me? That Redskins game.
Yeah.
I don't care who's the coach.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Like, I'm sitting there. I watched that live. And I'm like, me and Langston, I'm like, Langston, what is he doing? Turn around. He turns around, and all of a sudden, Hail Mary, we're done. That hurt. So, you know what I mean? I got to see what, man, I got to wait and see on that. Now, listen, I'm not saying Michigan's about to go undefeated here now. You know, we may trip up at Oklahoma, but I don't believe we will because I don't believe in the coach over there at Oklahoma. But, you know, I got us at least 9-3. That's playoff material coming out of the Big Ten. I think at minimum we can do that. Now, again, everybody's schedule, ours, Oklahoma, Michigan, Nebraska, Florida, it all depends on the quarterback staying healthy. That's all we need. Let's see with our quarterbacks healthy all the way through. And I think there's going to be some surprises like a Michigan, like I said, like a Michigan, Nebraska, maybe not as much as Florida because people like Lagway. But if our quarterbacks stay healthy and there's, you know, some good coaching going on, and we'll see if Rule can keep it going. Like, hey, man, I love this college football season, man, because there's nobody a clear-cut favorite, kind of like it was last year. Who's going to come out of this thing? You know what I mean? Like, a lot of schools should feel good about themselves. Like, there's nobody who's just an ironclad big dog. And Ravi. Oh, my Ravi.
What's up?
Damon, Trevor Lawrence. Listen, man, I've been to a practice.
Oh, Lord.
I've been to a practice.
He said,
and then
Ravi,
I watched
Ravi.
And then Ravi. I watched a scrimmage. Hey, man, DB is he's there, man. I'm trying not to give up on Trevor Lawrence. I'm trying. He is making it really hard. I'm like, dog, this is practice, man. What are we doing? Like, you're struggling in practice? I'm sorry. You're a fifth-year guy?
Oh, shoot.
Dog, man, come on, man. We've been waiting on Trevor Lawrence to play like his freshman year at Clemson since his freshman year at Clemson. It hasn't happened, man. This dude, I don't know, man. Now, Travis Hunter, on the other hand, they're doing bracket coverage on Travis Hunter in a scrimmage.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you guys serious? But listen, when he touches that ball, though, I see why. That kid is different now.
Hey,
that kid is different, man.
You like his fitness?
Hey, man, you said his fitness?
Fitness, yeah.
Yeah, today's NFL, most definitely.
Crazy.
This isn't the bang bang NFL from the '90s. Like this is cut for a guy like him. He's right on time. And guess what? Aren't people this day and age supposed to be bigger, faster, stronger? Right? Yeah. Isn't everybody supposed to be more athletic and all that?
I feel some sarcasm coming.
Then why don't we see all the two-way players we saw coming up back in the day? We push Deion Sanders and Bo Jackson to the side. We don't even have the Brian Jordans or you know what I mean? Like, what are we? But we're supposed to be bigger, faster, stronger, and more athletic this day and age, right?
But all right. First of all, and we gotta go. But are you saying we're not bigger, faster, stronger?
What I'm saying is, it's not 100% better. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Everybody, people like to live in the moment of, it's just way better. Look who Jordan was playing against, or Bill Russell was playing against. Like, okay, well, look who you guys are playing against who've been training all year long, and Trevor Lawrence still isn't good.
That's the best outside of Langston.
So what are we talking about here?
Hey, give him some love, man. We'll talk soon.
Hey, for sure. Hey, all right, fellas. Talk to y'all later.
All right, love you, buddy.
Love you guys.
So isn't it weird with Trevor Lawrence that went backwards? Winner, highly productive, championship caliber, super backslide.
Mm-hmm. I mean
that's the most interesting part.
He is super interesting because
because
the narrative coming out. Oh, he hasn't lost a game in how long?
And he was clutch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he came in huge. Won national title.
He said, "Amen, amen." You know, an amen's coming.
Yeah.
Whatever.
No, I mean, I think people,
man,
again, still misrepresent my position.
I know
Trevor
they do.
Lawrence.
That's my fault.
That's
my fault.
I gave up on him long before anyone else did.
I'm not gonna own what you said after I gave you every opportunity to correct it.
No, I meant what I said, but people didn't understand what I meant.
Do you feel it's been misconstrued?
Yeah, because people
have you been misrepresented?
Yeah, I need to call one of them TV lawyers.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you suffer from? Did you use too much talcum powder?
Mesothelioma. That's the one.
That's exactly what it is. Isn't that Malcolm powder? Isn't that talcum powder?
I'm not sure. I just know that's the word I would always hear on late night commercials.
I am gonna go out on a limb, and I don't think you can suffer from mesothelioma.
I have no idea what that is. Even I'll be honest.
I think
just like an age, ethnicity, or gender thing.
I think I'm gonna ride with the gender thing.
Okay, I didn't know. It afflicts women?
The only person that would know right off the bat is TK.
Yeah, I don't know. But I just know the word because I heard it a billion times on late night TV. Do you suffer from mesothelioma? Did you use talcum powder between the years of 1993 and 1998? You may be entitled to compensation.
I don't know, man.
Did you say Trevor Lawrence was generational talent? Did people misconstrue that to mean he was the best quarterback in the NFL?
Is asbestos.
Oh, okay, yeah. Talcum powder is, I think, a cancer. I think people are getting cancer from talcum powder.
And suave.
Yeah.
In very suave-as terms.
Puerto.
I'm not even. He spelled it right too. He must have AI.
He Googled it.
It does not discriminate.
Okay, so if it's asbestos, it's probably like
so. What's the one with the talcum powder? Well,
I think it's cancer.
No, what's the name? It's not the mesothelioma one.
No, it's a different thing, but I don't know what it is.
Oh, well, it took away from your punchline.
That's okay. It's fine. No, I meant what I said.
My man went all wayward son, didn't he? Just carry on.
No, you're exactly right.
Yep.
I
meant
what I said about Trevor Lawrence. I still think it's true. That doesn't guarantee any level of success in the NFL. It doesn't guarantee any level of production in the NFL. I didn't Google it. I know words.
Don't read it. Don't read it. And Shane put it in blue. Shane, I see what you did there. We're off to a decent start. Let's not put the quarter in, okay?
Well, I mean, you can't take anything Johnny Pig says seriously.
Here we go.
You know that. He's just a relentless troll. That's what he does.
Here we go.
I've met him. We went to Paisans at one point.
And he gave you his bacon.
I like Johnny Pig. He's one of those people that's a different person on the internet that he is in real life.
Oh, you like my man Bulk Dog?
Like in real life, he's super nice. He's cool. He's chill. On the internet, he's a troll. That's what he does.
Do you know what time Bulk Dog texted this morning?
Like 3:45.
It was. And it was like in depth. It wasn't even like, hey, how's the weather?
Mm-hmm.
It was like deep. My man, this was
like mob.
Yeah, not goody. It was. Oh, it wasn't too early. 4:52.
Oh, I was an hour off. Stank, call 877 cash now. JG Wentworth, baby. Let's go.
Are those guys? My man is like
that's pretty good.
A little chucklehead over there is like.
Man, I know the song.
Is like Jokey Smurf over there.
Call JG Wentworth. 877 cash now.
Oh.
Back in the day.
Wild.
You have a structured settlement and you need cash now.
I'm gonna go back to my Costco story. But anyway, like what he was saying about playing at a competitive level and like burnout and stuff like that, like that's real. Like I think the one cool thing, and this is all I'll say about the conversation, was he's seeing the fruits and the benefits of
a lot of what we've talked about for years,
Mhm.
right? Like taking care of your body, taking advantage of your resources, doing what you're told, hanging in there longer than the next guy because 90% will quit before you. The
Mhm.
mind is better than the body. Keep showing up. All the things that like we're talking about, and it's like all of a sudden, you see the fruits of the labor, and he's just genuinely excited. Like, man, let's go. I mean, he went talking 3 hours.
Yeah,
last night. A full 3.
That's aggressive.
I said something to you off air the other day. I said, I'm not normally a softy take time off guy.
Mhm.
But what did I say? I said those guys need a day off.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
After they
Yeah, because you were telling me that they had Thursday off or whatever.
they need a day off. It has been, I love it.
We got to know how hard to press
from the
gas
outside.
right? Yeah.
Because I go back to what I rally around, what he says. Like, there's no growth without the struggle.
Yeah.
It just isn't. And he's used it to the good and to the bad, right? He talked about young Dylan and, the 5-star and not really probably have struggling before and how the struggle was good for him because he's like chafed and ripened and you get a few calluses and you know what not to do. And it's hard with young people, my guy, because you don't want them to go over to the stove and say, man, touch it. That goddamn thing is hot. Now touch it. Touch it, boy. I'm telling you, touch it. So they don't touch it.
Mhm.
You have to say it a couple times, and then if they touch it, they touch it.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, hey, man, I tried to tell you. Right?
Yeah.
So it's a really, really hard sport to begin with. But when you want to do it like Nebraska's doing it, because I think they think their advantage is in the psychology of the sport, not necessarily the physicality of it. Now they want to be physical, but you have to be able to hang in there when you're uncomfortable.
Yeah, if you can just hang in there longer, it evens out some of the other stuff.
I was just getting ready to say it's the great equalizer.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that you can control.
Well, especially
just have to. I said that you have to train in such a way where time doesn't matter. The hard part is you don't know when it's going to kick in.
I would actually disagree with that to a certain extent.
Well, I beat you, but go ahead.
I think you have to train in such a way that time matters in your favor the longer you go.
You see, sure. I mean, that's kind of a play on words, but the motivator is you can't pinpoint the threshold.
Sure. Yeah, that's fair.
That's the gamification of it.
I guess my
you know
point
what I
is,
mean? Like,
yeah, like if for Nebraska, or I think Iowa actually is really good at this.
So I was gonna say a thorn in Nebraska's side.
Like Iowa just
of
hangs
teams
around.
that plays like that.
Hangs around.
Historically,
Minnesota.
has been was Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa.
Honestly, under Pat Fitzgerald when they were good, Northwestern was good at this.
They just hang in there longer, and it's not the physicality. They wait for you to make mistakes.
They wait for you to wilt.
So if you've seen that play work against you, why not try it?
I mean, I kind of view it like a boxer, right? When you talk about,
if you're getting off the field at 9:25, that's a night.
Like you talk about trying to get a guy into deep waters, right? You're like,
yeah.
we're going to take
we
this
talk,
guy
we
into
talk
deep
about
waters,
it a lot.
right? So the only reason I clarified a little bit what you said is like, I think Nebraska I think they want to not wait, but they want to outlast you to the point where, like in minute 54, in minute 56, in minute 58, that's actively an advantage. Not just it's not just that they don't dip, it's that they're waiting for you to collapse, right? And so to me, I think it's really interesting because I think a lot of these super talented teams, players, whatever, especially in today's generation, I don't want to sound like an old man, a hot take here, I think there's a lot of front runners.
He's on fire. You know I love a good front runner.
Like, I think there's a lot of front runners on super talented guys. That's why when Coach Rule talks about Raiola going through the struggles last year,
he said, brother, I don't sleep.
I love that because you've got, like, the more talented you are, the more you need to go through it to make sure that your talent endures.
Yeah.
Right? I think there's a huge I think youth and adults the same, a disservice by trying to protect them from struggle. You want to protect them from harm, but you can't protect them from struggle.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you protect them from struggle, at some point they will incur harm because they are not prepared to struggle.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'll use myself as an example.
I'm not. You know what's funny about that?
Yeah.
This is 100% just like relationships.
Sure.
Do you want to know why? This is deep.
Yeah.
Real detachment, like real detachment, it doesn't come from anger. Do you know what it comes from?
Indifference.
No, it comes from clarity. Real detachment doesn't come from anger. It comes from clarity. It means all of a sudden you know one way
or the other.
Or the other.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Real detachment doesn't come from anger. It comes from clarity. It's like that. You think about work. Think about the house. Like, pay attention to that. It comes from clarity. That's how you know. And right now, it should be easier, but it's harder to talk about hanging in there.
Why is that?
Because when you don't have to do it near as long as you used to have to. Like you just don't. You don't have to hang in there as long as you used to come out with dubs. You can get people to tap quicker now.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's what I was kind of talking about with the front runners. I think there's a lot of front runners.
So you'd think we'd start to roll around and get closer to it. I think sports-wise, we're a little further from it.
Yeah, I think it used to be the cost of doing business, the ability to endure. Now I think it's a superpower.
It actually, I'll rock with that.
Like, I think it just used to be like, this is a thing that has to happen.
Yeah.
And now if you can do it, it's a superpower.
Like, how hard do you think it would be to go through recovery versus going home?
Oh, it's really hard.
You think?
Yeah. Going through like a rehab or recovery or anything like that. I mean, Coach Rule talked about it.
You think it's easier to get in the car and get to the house versus get in the cold tub?
Yes. I think it's easier to go home.
Huh. You're probably, the funny thing is, you're probably right.
Home is comfortable. Home is easy.
Yeah. I want to feel better, though.
Yeah, but you want to feel better long term. They want to feel better right now. Going home is feeling better right now. Getting in the cold tub. Nobody likes a cold tub. Cold tubs suck. They're the worst. Rehab sucks. Recovery sucks. And it's the double, because working out can kind of suck too, but you feel the benefit of it. You don't immediately feel the benefit of recovery. It is a war of attrition on your body to get it back to where you want it to be. Lifting is fun because you're like, oh man, there's the testosterone of it and there's the accomplishment of it. You don't feel an accomplishment in recovery. It is a long-term reward. Going home is an immediate reward. I'm going to go home and play video games. I'm going to go home and eat something. I'm going to go home and hang out with the girlfriend, whatever it is, right? Going home is easy. Going home is always the easiest option. Even if you're not talking about recovery. Let's talk about actually going home. Let's talk about transferring or going home or leaving a team as opposed to sticking it out when you're not getting the minutes or the snaps or whatever that you want. Going home is easy. That's the easy thing. It's comfortable. It's the thing you know. It's the thing people aren't going to tell you what you don't want to hear back home for the most part. Be like, oh man, they were screwing you over. You can tell Quinn Clark. Quinn Clark will tell you, hey, I wasn't lining up right.
DB, not going to lie. Your boy couldn't get lined up.
But if he didn't have that level of self-awareness.
Oh, Q. Quinn, I love you.
If he didn't have that level of self-awareness and he's like, man, I'm going back to Bozeman. This is BS. Whoever comes in back home, all his boys back home are be like, oh, man, they screwed you over. Be Be like, I see those wide receivers out there. They were trash. How come you're not getting to play? That's easy to hear. That's better to hear in the moment.
You know what's funny on the heels of getting ready to talk to Lincoln? What I think is interesting. When you look at that roster, volleyball, was it 17? They're with as talented as they are, and we heard her comments about the preseason #1 and who she voted for, and facts over feelings, right? Hey, we're bringing back more than Penn State. I get it. They're a national champs, but we got more of our core. I'll be curious to see how they handle like the internal competitiveness daily, because she plays a little bit different style. So you may have more options. You may have to actually hang in there longer with DBK than Coach Cook.
Coming up next, we're going to talk to Lincoln Arneal. He covers volleyball for Huskers Illustrated and also hosts the Volleyball State podcast. Make sure you stick around. Really good stuff coming up with Lincoln here on Hurrdat Sports Live.
What's the tackling look like? Yeah, I would say from a physicality standpoint, that's just something we got to keep working every day. I think we've had, maybe this is our second full padded practice. We've had a couple practices in uppers, But it's, to me, I think I've said this before, but football is such a unique game in that you can practice, all off season and lift and train weights, but the contact aspect of this game and how it's being limited, by NCAA rules, and even when you're in the NFL, like the NFLPA, you can only have so many contact days, so you got to maximize those. So, we're working a lot of thud and just strong, thud tackles now, and eventually we'll get to some live to the ground stuff, but you got to have that balance of maximizing the physicality of your whole team, but our defense, but at the same time keeping everybody healthy. So I think it's a work in progress.
At Centros Federal Credit Union, we have the tools and resources to help our members fulfill their financial goals, with a focus on building a stronger community for the next generation of leaders. Centros Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
I definitely think we're heading in that direction. We, with having the time that we have nowadays over the summer to spend a few hours with the guys throughout the weeks, I think that has definitely helped, and it has allowed our guys to kind of pick up where we left off this spring. And now we're kind of getting into, we started real elementary, but now we're getting into the middle school and trying to get into the high school stuff right now as well.
Who's emerging as leaders in your room?
I would say it's multiple guys. Deshaun is being more vocal than what he has been in the past, which is good to see. Marquise, he's always been a vocal guy, so he's doing a good job as well. And there's a couple of the other guys that we're trying to, push to do a little more. Malcolm, he's a really quiet guy, but I do see Malcolm at times pulling guys off to the side and coaching them up, so that's definitely a step in the right direction. And then Sierra's another guy that is emerging as a leader in that room, and he does the same thing as Malcolm, pulling guys off to the side, and he's also becoming a bit more vocal in front of the room as well. So I would say those four guys are the ones that are standing out as leaders.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
More like we'll talk about. I didn't even know that, to be honest. I don't know when that came out. So, what? 10 minutes ago. Okay, so I'm not surprised. I mean, I get a vote, and I voted ourselves number one. I think we're pretty talented. So we're going to talk about that and talk about what it means to be number one, but we're not going to dwell on that or talk about it for more than about 10 minutes. But I also don't want to avoid it. And I don't think anybody on our team is going to be surprised that we're preseason number one. I also don't think anybody believes that that's what we'll be in December, just because that's what we are right now, because they've been through it all.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centrus Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by Lincoln Arneal. He covers volleyball for Huskers Illustrated and hosts the Volleyball State podcast. Lincoln, how are you this morning?
Doing well, doing all right.
Lincoln, this is kind of weird. This doesn't happen to me often. I'm pretty excited. I'm a little intimidated, and I appreciate you coming on, because sometimes when we want guests, it's like, this happened one time, not that I'm putting you in there with Harvey Perlman, but I had Harvey Perlman in studio once, and he kept me up the night before, because I'm like, he's by far the better expert. He hates dumb questions. He has got an interesting delivery style. Oh my gosh, I'm getting Lincoln Arneal vibes tonight. So, I mean, that's the company you're keeping.
The good news is I don't mind a bad question. I think all questions are valid and good. Whether you learn something or not, there's no dumb questions. And I noticed the screen, lots of questions about my bobblehead collection too. I'm very interested in discussing that.
So I love the sport. I think we follow it pretty close. Is there Nebraska, the state has been really good at it for a long time, especially at the high school level, right? Well documented. Is volleyball grown to the point now, Lincoln, where you think we're past the gatekeeping, where we want to invite in all comers, or where do you think we kind of are as the sport has had this like meteoric rise?
I still think that I think within certain portions of the United States we are past that, but I don't think it's popped the public consciousness where you still need to say, oh, we play 3 out of 5, or the 5th set only goes to 15 points. I think that people will put it on like, oh, that's volleyball. It's pretty fun and exciting to watch too. But there may be like, why is that one girl wearing a different colored jersey and running in and off the court? So I think we're getting better. And I think there's a lot of people, especially around Nebraska and the Midwest, the Big Ten footprint, that are past that. Their volleyball is part of their culture. It's something they look forward to in the fall. They're probably following a professional league or two and that. But I still think there's a lot of people maybe on the East Coast, maybe in the Southeast, where there's still there's still work to be done, and there's still kind of some ground to be gained.
Lincoln, you mentioned professional leagues there, and I'm glad you did, because that was going to be my follow-up question to DBs, is how much do you think, like we just got some news about the Omaha Supernovas yesterday, how much do you think that's helped maybe people that weren't into the college volleyball scene, or they didn't have kids growing up that played volleyball? How much do you think that's helped sort of spread that knowledge of the sport and the appreciation from the sport, so that we don't have some of those questions when people see a game?
I think it's helped a lot too, because I mean, you think about college basketball, you follow these people, you get to know them a little bit, and then you follow them in the pro leagues too. But volleyball, you develop these relationships, watch them play in the court, watch them do these incredibly athletic things, and then they go off to play in a league in Turkey, in Puerto Rico, or Japan, and they're just kind of gone from public consciousness, where now you can follow Alexi Rodriguez, you can follow, a Lindsay Krause, Ali Batenhorst, people that you develop these relationships for, cheer on the court, and then after their 4 years of college, 5 years of college, you now can continue to follow them and enjoy watching them play volleyball on the court too. So I think it's great for the growth of the sport of volleyball and fandom too, because now you have long-term relationships, and it's a natural progression of, it makes the sport bigger than just the college game too. So and I think it is a higher level of volleyball too. So that it bridges the gap between the college game and the Olympics. You kind of have something to fit nicely between that.
Like, I want to drill down on DBK here just a little bit, just because, following her career, being in the same room with her a fair amount of times, seeing her lately on campus, she commands this presence, right? Oh, yeah. She's very no nonsense, yet she's got a little bit of a disarming quality to her. Yeah. What do you think the transition is stylistically, like demeanor-wise, people talk about all the stuff Nebraska brings back, but I do think there are some very distinct differences between her and Coach Cook.
Oh,
Is that part of the intrigue for such a talented team on paper for you?
Yeah, I mean, John Cook was a legendary coach. He did it. He was very strategic. He was very, I mean, when he would say something to, like, in press conferences, sometimes it was to demotivate a player or kind of needle them a little bit or send a message. Whereas talking to Dani over the years, and especially this past year, she just had just a joy and enjoys the process, enjoys building the relationships with the players too. And I think, I mean, it's very disarming. You played the soundbite from her press conference right before I joined. I mean, there she is talking about how she thinks her team is the best team in the nation. Yeah, she voted them number one, but she did it in a way that's not like, it's not braggadocious. It's not like we're way better than everyone else. Check us out. I was like, no, we believe that we're good, but we're going to work to get even better than everyone else thinks that we can be to win a national title. And she's just very direct, very honest. And I think that comes across, and not only the communication in press conferences, but in her communication with her players. And you talk about the joy that her players have when they're playing with her. They're playing for her. They're playing for each other too. So it's just an infectious energy that she brings and kind of sets the tone at the top.
So Lincoln, I want to talk about the polls here for a second, because I was a little surprised by a few things. We'll start with Nebraska. Obviously they got 40 out of the 61 first place votes. I thought it might be a little closer than that with the first place votes with Penn State, but the margin of the actual points in terms of tallied up was relatively close. What does that tell you about how people view Nebraska maybe in different parts of the country, as opposed to just looking at the first place votes and being like, oh, everybody thinks they're the best?
Yeah. Well, I think that the one thing, I think Nebraska does return the most talent. They have a number of All-Americans, where you look at everyone else in the top 10, I think they have a question mark. I mean, Nebraska has questions of who's going to start too, but they got several high-level options of where they can play. But everyone else has questions, whether it be passing, a lot of setter turnover for those teams, and just maybe a player or an attacker where they need to figure out that thing too. But to me, looking at Nebraska number one, I put out my own one on Tuesday. I think Nebraska just has the most talent. Yes, they changed coaches, but you went from one of the best coaches who's won national titles to one of the coaches who's been in two of the title games this past 5 years. So Nebraska to me, I think that was an easy choice. I was surprised by the number of pushback that, hey, Penn State won the national title, they deserve number one. I'm like, oh, they were ranked number one to end last year too. This is a new season, different roster. They've lost a number of key players. Their top 3 point scorers are all gone.
Yeah.
So I don't see, to me, Nebraska was the obvious choice. And I tried to remove my daily coverage blinders on that and tried to look at it as objectively as possible. But I think a lot of people got to that same end result of Nebraska has talent and potential as well.
Let me ask you something, Lincoln. Stylistically, we get to compare and contrast, right? Coach Cook, once he settled, that was kind of the rotation. I mean, things like hitting out of the back late in the season became a topic. Other coaches, it's fairly seamless, right? It's just what they do. But because it was Coach Cook, it was like, oh, how are we going to figure this out?
Mm-hmm.
With DBK, it's a little different, right? 6'2", very versatile in their offensive attack, right? I think can be significantly more creative. Is that good or a potential caveat? I won't even say bad, with as many pieces as she has, right? Sometimes the more versatile you want to be, it's because those same people have different skill sets, but she has a lot of people with those skill sets, and she's very creative. Is she adding to the complexity, or is that simplified because of the versatility?
I think that her approach to it makes it an asset. She doesn't have a lot of set systems, but she kind of adapts to what the personnel that she has. And that you saw that a lot of Louisville with, like you mentioned, the 6'2". If they had a lot of attackers and a setter who really maybe wasn't a presence at the net, she could adapt and go to a 6'2". She also was very quick with substitution. Somebody's not working or they need to mix up the energy or something like that. she would go to the bench real quick and make a very quick substitution. I think that's going to be an asset for Nebraska. That was one of my favorite quotes from yesterday too. I mean, she did kind of say that, oh, we don't have a starting setter. We don't know who's going to start a setter, whether it's going to be Bergen or Campbell Flynn. But our goal is not to have, take Bergen, who was a starter last year. Our goal is not to make her the best setter by herself in the nation. It's to have the best setter group. So if there's some things that Campbell Flynn does that the team needs, she's not afraid to go to her in that moment to provide that too. And she looks at them setters at one position too, but I think opposites were another position where they have a lot of talent, players who are a little bit different, but their goal is not to have one of them emerge as an All-American candidate. It's to have that group be the best opposite group in the nation. So I think her versatility, willingness to try things and maybe mix things up a little bit too, I think is really going to be an asset and fun to watch. And it's something you need when you have 17 players on the roster.
I was in a presentation yesterday to our staff and our presenter, he was talking about maxing out, and he actually had some clips from Merritt Beeson on one of his podcasts. And she said something interesting about the team, the camaraderie and kind of the culture, how it led into, Lainey may need something different than Lexi, and Lexi may need something different than Lindsay. And like real leadership is understanding that it's customized. When it's as competitive as I imagine day in, day out it will be, does that lend itself more to understanding what each player needs, if that makes sense?
I think so. I mean, you could do that and cause chaos. I think you look at what happened to Texas last year too. They had two really good setters and they went back and forth.
The problem.
Yeah, it never really, I think it hindered their chances to reach their peak because they didn't know what was going to happen. But I think if you approach it the right way, get the buy-in from everyone, like you may miss a little bit of playing time too, but we're doing this because it'll make our team better. I think that's really where it can become a strength too, but it can go either way too. But I think knowing Dani and the work that she's putting in, she's building in that kind of that muscle memory right now and that mental approach that we're going to do this as a team. And it may make some personal sacrifices along the way, but the end goal is going to be worth it if you just trust and buy into the process too. So I agree with you that it can go south very quick, but everyone's bringing something different. And if she sticks true to that and uses that approach the whole season, I think it'll pay dividends.
Lincoln, how important was it, or do you think it'll end? Because you'll get it, because you know so much. But how important was it when they rolled out the transitional change and Coach Cook makes the announcement that assistants were already in place? It had been done behind the scenes. I still think that's one of the beautiful things that Dan and that athletic department should get a lot more credit for the transition in terms of the continuity of replacing such a great leader. Like, it typically doesn't happen that seamlessly ahead of time.
I struggle to think of anything that has been. I mean, the other case is Louisville kind of doing that, but Louisville was set up by the same kind of system too, with what Nebraska did. I don't know of another situation that's been that smooth, and also the assistant coach staying too. I think that's maybe an underrated part too, because that takes a risk by Dani, because she's leaving behind. I mean, she worked with Dan Meskey for 8 years at Louisville. She was very trusted, they work very well together and we're in sync on a lot of things too. That's Dani being willing to take a risk, put herself out there, put herself in an uncomfortable situation. You think, I'm going to take over one of the main schools in college volleyball. I'm going to be uncomfortable with that too. Like,
because even for her, she's kind of outsider on that staff.
Yeah.
Even as an alum.
She knew Jalen kind of in the recruiting circles, and Kelly and Hunter and her worked together. Kelly was a player when Dani was assistant coach. But then she hired a GA who was an interim who said, yeah, I'm willing to try you out and stick you in that role, make you a full-time assistant. I mean, it's just the trust that Dani has, not only she trusted John Cook in that transition. Like, you had good assistants, and also to know that she is safe in herself and kind of confident in her abilities, that she can kind of implement her system, and she's not going to be undermined, because I think that also took buy-in from her, but the assistants, like, things are going to be different. And I think that makes it exciting for them and is a refresh as well too. So there's just a lot of trust. And like you said, that transition was seamless. And I think the best thing that possibly could happen for Nebraska too, because there was a lot of speculation for those 20 minutes or so between the announcements too, but to quash that, and I think that really earned the trust of the players, the assistants, and then put Dani in a position to be successful this year.
Lincoln, I wanted to switch over to Creighton here for a second. They came in number 12 in the preseason poll. I was a little surprised they were given that much of a benefit of the doubt, considering you lose Coach Booth, you lose Nora Sis, you lose Kendra Waite. Like, that seemed like that's a lot of departures from a really good volleyball team last year. What did you think about where Creighton ended up and how they were viewed by the poll?
I agree. I thought it was a little bit high. I was thinking about where I would rank them. I would rank them for sure, maybe kind of in the lower teens, maybe 15 to 20, because yes, Nora Sis is a big loss, but I think Kendra Waite is an even huger loss. And Creighton did get a setter from California who I haven't seen yet. We'll get to see her this fall, but Ava Martin is a known quantity, and I think they got a couple transfers as well too. So it's really going to be kind of, to me, they're a little bit unknown because of all the moving parts, the late coaching transition, and some of what the transfers look like. I think they have a lot of talent, but setter is the key position that I would like to see. I did watch them with their scrimmage in the spring against UNO and Omaha, and they got talent.
How
there
about
too.
that hire, Lincoln? Like, that's going to age well at Omaha.
Oh yeah, Nabar is great. Yeah, I think they're doing good stuff there too. But I think that spring match may have been a result of where Omaha is, and maybe not as much as where Creighton is. So I think that I think Creighton has potential this year too. I mean, when you got somebody at the talent level of Ava Martin, you're going to win a lot of matches too. There'll be another Big East contender. I kind of look at the preseason rankings as I have question marks. Prove it to me. I may kind of deduct you on that. They may have gotten a little bit of benefit of the doubt with the name and kind of the reputation they have. I think there are some teams, especially right behind Creighton too, that got a benefit of the doubt too. But Creighton will have to prove it, and I think they have some talent to do some good things this year.
So I was going to ask you about that, because I'm looking at this poll and I'm looking at Purdue in particular as a team right behind Creighton. And I go, okay, they had a lot of attrition, mostly by choice, not by graduation. And you're sitting there and I'm going, okay, I don't know how they're getting the benefit of the doubt to be the number 15 team in the country. Is that one of the teams you were talking about?
Yeah. I think Purdue is on there. Kansas got it pretty high in the Big 12. I mean, Matt Ulmer is a good coach as well too, but I think that's going to be a little bit of a shift there too.
I think they get a lot of credit for their portal work, right?
Yeah. But I think that they lost one of their best hitters who went to Northwestern. So I think Kansas will be good, but I think they lost a lot. Matt Ulmer got in some good players too, but I think there's a little bit of unknown factor of how they're all going to mesh together. But Purdue, I think, was definitely the one team that, they lost 2 All-American outside hitters. They lost a couple middles to the transfer portal as well too. Their libero graduated. They had another middle graduate. So I think they're going to be in for a hard reset. But Dave Shondell, the coach of Purdue, knows what he's on. He's has a proven track record too. So maybe that's just those votes are trust in Dave Shondell that he'll build a good team eventually.
Lincoln, let me ask you something philosophically. With all the great volleyball that's played, even from NAIA to Division I across the state, it is fantastic, right? And there was always kind of this little family deal with Coach Pettit and his affinity for Kirsten and Coach Cook and Kirsten's relationship. It's pretty friendly in terms of the mutual admiration. Do you see that dynamic changing at all with the non-cons that they'll play, the matches that they'll play, the growth of the sport and the intensity within the state? Do you see the dynamics of the Creighton, Nebraska volleyball thing changing, or does it start with Creighton winning more?
I don't think the dynamics will change. It'll be different because you don't have 2 long entrenched coaches, but I think that's what it was back when Booth first started at Creighton too. I mean, Creighton really wasn't much of any program, and Nebraska was doing them a favor by playing them early on too. And now Creighton's built themselves. Will Creighton beat Nebraska at some point? Yeah, probably. Will it be this year? Probably not. So I think that there is a lot of respect. And I think too, you look at Creighton staff too. I mean, yes, Rosen was elevated to the head coach, but their associate coach, Angela Behrens, is a former Husker. I think there's that connection too. Matt Buttermore in Omaha, his wife is a former Husker too. I think so. You look at the connections that are at the other programs, the Division I programs in the state, and I think those relationships are going to continue to grow. And having Dani as a native Nebraskan as well too, she appreciates the culture and realizes the culture is not just the Huskers, it's the other programs. It's the Division I, Division II, the NAIA schools too, that it's part of a larger infrastructure that makes volleyball special in the state. That's not just, I mean, Nebraska is the flagship, but there's a lot of other good volleyball going on in the state.
Yeah, I agree. Let me ask you something philosophically about the sport, because I think it's there are a couple of sports that were way ahead of the NIL transfer portal, the movement game, volleyball and wrestling being two of them. We've seen players change schools, impact players for a long time. So maybe I'm answering my own question, Lincoln, but what do you think happened, or where do you think happened? I asked this question about baseball. It used to be super coasty, right? Mm-hmm. Left coast, really dominant, USC, UCLA, Arizona State. We've seen this shift in terms of where regional power resides. What happened, do you think, in volleyball, where we went from, the coasts to Penn State to the central region? Now, Penn State did their thing again, but when did the shift happen and move inward versus what we had seen in the success of the sport historically?
Yeah, I think you look back at the 90s. I mean, even then, I think you look when Nebraska won their first national title, and then Penn State won one a couple of years later. That really shifted the power from the West Coast to more central. I don't know if you include Penn State in that too, but I think you look at the Big Ten footprint and I think the Big Ten realized the potential of the sport. And as a conference, they started to invest as well too. And I think you look at why that continues now. The Big Ten network is a big reason.
And their media day coverage was fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, it was amazing. Yeah. And I think why Nebraska too, you look at the work that Terry Pettit did with Nebraska Public Television. So I think getting volleyball on TV is a large part of that, because fans watch and they realize, hey, this is exciting to watch. So philosophically, I think that the Nebraska with Nebraska Public Television, that was a big thing. And then I think the Big Ten Conference committing to it. And that's why the Big Ten continues to be one of the leaders, because they've dedicated the resources, they've dedicated the coverage hours. And I think it's not a surprise too. And also the person behind all that is Sue Marriott, who is a native Nebraskan.
Oh yeah, one of my faves.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, worked a ton with her. Let me ask you something about kind of the AVCA historically, and I think since the polls, whatever it is, 1982, I think it started. So I know that a third of the time preseason number one has won it since 82. But an interesting fact is there's been 5 teams that have won it wire to wire. 05 Nebraska is in that 5. When you look at what it takes to maintain, to sustain, to the hunter versus the hunted, and all of the coaching cliches, for you, how much does just good fortune, a little ball luck, like what goes into being able to go wire to wire for you outside of health?
Well, having depth, I think, not just besides health, but players are going to have off nights as well too. You need to have someone that you can rely on. Also, I think you need to have veteran leadership as well too. I think you look at Nebraska's senior and their junior class, especially, they've been through the battles. They've been to the last 2 Final Fours, know what it takes to win at elite level, and they have a chip on their shoulder too. I mean, you heard Bergen Riley mention it. They mentioned that yesterday, that they're hungry. They're not going to be content. They've come close. They've been in the title match. They had to match point against the eventual national champion last year, and so I think you need to have that drive, that luck as well too, that your plane doesn't get stuck on the tarmac at State College when you're trying to make that back-to-back down in Rutgers or Maryland. So I think that was all too. And I think you need to be tested early so you can handle the grind later. And Nebraska's schedule is going to set up for that too. I mean, they lucky for Nebraska, they have an identity, and they'll face some of these teams like a Kentucky, like a Pitt, or in the first couple of weeks too, that they have questions, especially at setter, that make them vulnerable, that doesn't have that margin for error to figure things out, where I think Nebraska has question marks. But again, going back to what I said earlier, they have a lot of good options. So there's a lot of things that are going to happen. It's a long season. It's 4 months of figuring out rotations, figuring out the combinations of players that work together, and also 4 months of just being together in a very intimate environment too. So you got to have the right personality mix, and that goes back again to that strong leadership. You look at, I had the 2000 team. I talked to them because that was the last time Nebraska had a coaching change, and Nebraska also won a national title. What was the difference on that team is that senior group of leaders that really kind of stepped up as that coaching change happened and guided Nebraska to an undefeated season. So I think you look at who Nebraska has coming back, they have a lot of strong leaders, even though they did lose Alexi Rodriguez and Merritt Beeson.
I'm curious to watch. You mentioned Pitt. I'm curious to watch Babcock with like lack of familiarity. Like she's so explosive. I'm curious to watch Pitt with kind of some new faces and new places. Just kind of off topic. Lincoln, let me get you out of this, at least the last one from me. When you look at the conference and where the Big Ten is in terms of the caliber of volleyball they play, how aggressive should, or do you think a school like Nebraska needs to be in order to, and maybe, first of all, let me ask you this. I said it backwards. Do you think Nebraska's won the national championship enough recently to shake the moniker of close but not quite the last handful of years? Have they won recently enough? And I'm not using the C word when it comes to not, but I'm saying they have been favorites and not come through. Have they won recently enough, first of all, to shake kind of the pressure moniker of we don't do well when in crunch time?
I think Nebraska needs to prove it. I mean, 2017 was the last time they've done it. They've done it. They were in the 18 title game. They were in the 21 title game. They were in the 23 title game. They were in the 24 semifinals with a match point. I mean, 17 is it's 2 whole cycles of players that have gone through. So I think Nebraska.
I'm glad you paused. I was afraid to word the question that way. I almost was going to leave it, but I had to get that out of the way first.
Yeah, I think that Nebraska would like to prove it to, again, solidify themselves, especially because Penn State's won last year too, to kind of put themselves back in the conversation. And it had been a few years since they had won a national title, since Russ Rose had left too. So new coach. I mean, that says that they're a program dynasty, not just a Russ Rose dynasty.
Okay, so with that, how would you schedule in the non-con versus what you already get with your conference slate if you're a team that's in a similar ilk?
Yeah. I like what Nebraska's done too. I think you need to have a couple tests early. I mean, this is kind of what John Cook's always done too. I mean, especially a team that has a lot of experience and talent, you want to challenge them right away. And if you lose a match in August, September, it's not a huge deal. It's not the end of the world as long as it becomes a learning moment. So I mean, volleyball does this a lot too. There's a number of top 10 matchups going on in the first couple of weeks too. They're not afraid to that because they've learned over the years too, where you learn a lot more than you're penalized from those losses. So it's a good to see them going on early this season too. So I like what Nebraska's done too. I mean, they get some traditional matchups. They do have a couple lower quality teams, but that lends itself to some experimentation. Maybe gets the younger players some playing time. So I like Nebraska's. I would have scheduled what they did.
Fantastic.
Lincoln, I want to take advantage of your expertise real quick before we let you out of here, because there were some couple pieces of big professional news here as well yesterday with the Supernovas leagues, I guess, merging with the
Coach
MLB
Cook and Jordan.
and PVF.
It's crazy.
You've got, obviously, on one side of the ledger, you got John Cook joining the Supernovas as co-owner and GM. On the other side, you have Coach Booth being president of operations and Jordan Larson being part of Love Volleyball. What is just your current status of professional volleyball? Because it feels like a ton has happened in the last 48 hours.
Yeah, it's been an arms race, and it's exciting because both two leagues, I don't know how long-term sustainable are, but it's both leagues are going for it, and especially realizing how vital Nebraska is to the success of those leagues too. I mean, it's Love Nebraska now to have Jordan Larson invest, to have someone the caliber of Kristen Berthal Booth come in. It just says that this matters. She's willing to take a chance on that. She put her coaching career, she put that on the side and said, we're doing this now. And I think it was a real coup for the Supernovas to have John Cook come in as a general manager and also be an owner. Like you said, I like the dichotomy of Jordan Larson versus John Cook, the owners going battle. That's fun too. And I think for the Supernovas, it was great that we're not going to have 3 leagues. I think I was worried about that when they made the announcement in January that they're going to form a different professional league too. 3 leagues is, I think, ridiculous, but 2 leagues is fine. They've rebranded as Major League Volleyball, get a lot more capital investment. I think it's good that the Supernovas are back. I think that they're one of the most exciting teams in the nation. Just the game day atmosphere is unrivaled for any other team in either league. And what they're doing, it's a fun environment. They play great volleyball. So I was glad to see that, make sure that environment continues going on in the future.
Well, and like you mentioned earlier, I think the Supernovas have shown what a good television product volleyball.
Yeah.
Mentioned the NET or the Nebraska Public Media stuff with Terry Pettit. I don't know how many people that weren't tuned into college volleyball understood how good, it's a very underrated
aesthetically when it's played well, it is
incredible,
one of the best to watch.
Yeah, and then you bring in John Baylor, Larry Putney, who are great play-by-play announcers too. The whole product is good too, because volleyball is one of those sports that it's amazing to watch in person, and it actually does translate well to television too. Sometimes in sports, one or the other outweighs, but I think it's an equally enjoyable experience whether you're in the arena or you're on or watching on television. So there's a lot of things going on to make this exciting. So we'll find out. Free agency starts today, so we'll see who the Supernovas have back on their team. Lexi Rodriguez, J.O. Winters is going to be back for Love Nebraska now. So they're really buying into the local talent and making it proving that this is the volleyball state.
That's Lincoln Arneal. Speaking of Volleyball State, host of the Volleyball State podcast and a contributor and writer for Husker Illustrated as well. Lincoln, thank you so much for giving us
a quick 30 minutes, man. I appreciate it.
No problem. Glad to be on, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks.
That's Lincoln Arneal from Huskers Illustrated and the Volleyball State podcast. Terrific stuff from Lincoln.
A little bit of a back and forth going on now between Coach Cook and Coach Larson. I kind of like it.
It's kind of fun. And also, my immediate thought when Coach Cook got announced as general manager, I was like, oh, that might make it easy to get some Nebraska players in the future.
Yeah, I was glad he recognized the job that Coach Booth did because, it's not plug and play. She built that thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 100%.
She built that thing. It's going to be interesting to watch the transition.
I thought it was super interesting to see how much benefit of the doubt they got even after Coach Booth left for Creighton in the number
Coach Rosen is held in high regard.
Absolutely. And like he said, they've got some good players coming back and did well in the portal. We'll be back. More Hurrdat Sports Live coming up next.
Give me that cheddar, we getting Rico. Big money and rolls like burritos. Give me that hot sauce, no pico. Give me that. Give me that.
Just surreal. It's a dream job. I said it in the interview a long time ago when I was announced as the new head coach. there's just nowhere else I want to be, no other people I want to be surrounded with. It's so even though it's not my first practice, we had practices this spring. It is the first day of the regular season, so it's a different feel to it. And we had a playthrough this morning and played a lot of volleyball. They looked great. It was just awesome to have them all back in the gym. I again said it back then, like, culture is who we are at Creighton, and that is something I promised them again a few days ago. Like, that isn't going to change. That's who we are. That's our identity as a program. The word that they came up with this year was grit, and different letters stand for different things. And so just being a little bit more gritty. Obviously, we were a team full of seniors last year, a lot of experience. So some new players to kind of welcome in and get going. And so just being gritty. And I think they showed that this morning in our first practice.
Centris Federal Credit Union, we understand that the journey of building your own business typically starts with modest beginnings. With a little help from our team of experts and small business loan offerings, you can take your vision and transform it into a more concrete reality. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
Amazing. Yeah, it was one of the coolest experiences I've ever been a part of. So yeah, very grateful to be able to do it.
Why was it so amazing?
First of all, the people. I think when you put a ton of the top athletes together, you think there might be some collision, but I mean, all of the girls were so amazing, so welcoming. Coaching staff was awesome too, and winning a gold medal is pretty fun too. So. Oh my gosh, I mean, I learned so much. It's just really cool to see a different perspective on things. I mean, I learned so much here, obviously, but the stuff that I learned will really help this season.
Does that give you confidence? Like, how much does it give you? You won a gold medal.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely does. I'm just excited to be back with them too, working, because I feel like it's also the people around you that give you confidence. And so my teammates are always picking me up, and so that definitely helps a lot too.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
We're back here on Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DBM Ravi, Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. And today's the day. If you haven't got your tickets yet, it's your last opportunity to spend an evening with Henry Winkler and to support the Team Jack Foundation and fight pediatric brain cancer. It's teamjackfoundation.org/Henry to get your tickets. It's at the Scott Center down in Exarban. Make sure you get there. There's going to be a cocktail hour. Then the keynote speaker, Henry Winkler, the Fonz, will be there at 7 p.m. Weirdly, I was a big Happy Days guys on the rerun. I enjoyed them. Make sure you get your tickets, teamjackfoundation.org/Henry. DB.
Yeah.
That was good stuff there from Lincoln.
It was really good. It was really good.
Yeah, I enjoyed talking to him.
Smart guy too.
Yeah, he's, if you're not familiar with Lincoln, probably the foremost expert in volleyball in the state. Is that fair? That's not overstating it?
And that's no disrespect to Jacob Padilla, who I think is fantastic. But he's so – and I shouldn't even use Jacob because, he's going to concede anyway because he's so gracious.
Yeah.
But Jacob is fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Jacob's great.
He is way good.
Our guy, Matty D, on the Creighton side, really, really good.
Especially statistically, pays attention to rotations. Like, we got We got a couple of gems, man.
Yeah,
and
we're a little
coincidentally, Maddie and Jacob are boys. They probably internally compete with one another with their analytics and their statistics. Matt's a machine.
Yeah, he is. And he'll crank stuff out.
I mean, he's a filthy son of a gun. I'm like, no, I'm dead serious, Shane. Like, he's sick.
Dude, he's a killer, too. He'll snipe you. You won't even see it coming.
And he just keeps it pushing.
Yep.
Like, so here's the
a lot of drive-bys with Maddie.
I'm gonna say this out loud. I'm gonna move on, and hopefully he skips this segment if he ever goes back and listen. You want my favorite thing?
Yeah.
He doesn't belabor the point.
Yeah.
My man gets in, gets out. I'm like, that's a cold-blooded assassin.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna leave this right here.
Yeah.
Do with it what you will.
Yeah, he does. He will. He just leaves down your doorstep.
Yeah, I could rock with that.
Not like me. I beat that dead horse. I make sure.
Oh man, and you remind me.
I'm like, hey, you remember that one time?
Shoot, man. I've never been so torn about 10 wins. Man, talk about unbearable. Be a menace.
Yeah.
An absolute menace.
It's true. It's true.
I like how you shy away from it, too. You're like, nah, not me. I wouldn't do that.
No, of course I'm going to. I told you, I go, the victory laps I will be taking will be insufferable.
Oh, no.
Both on the 10 wins and the playoffs by next year. I will be insufferable.
That's Ravi. That's L3, right?
That is me, yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, you're no Cam Broham, that's for sure. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
That's fine.
Shane,
how we doing?
We're going to talk to Brian Edwards here in just a second.
I gave him a couple of late ads. He may be buying himself some time.
It's true. That's all right. We got to get to some more college football totals with our guy.
I'm gonna talk you into thinking Oklahoma's gonna win a natty.
No, that's not gonna happen.
That's not what I'm saying either.
No,
so I'm glad. Do you like my heads today?
Who do we have today?
How do you not know? Like, can you see?
We got Eckler and okay, there we go. Yeah, we got Eckler and Dana Holgerson. I don't have the feed up at all times, so I don't always I don't have the video.
Well, how dare you not have the feed up?
I know we need to get a monitor. Like, so we can look up and see the feed instead of having to switch it on our computers.
Yeah, the other day, and I get it because you're not in there very long, but Celeste asked me if I wanted to watch television.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have the heart to tell her. That thing is so small I can't even see. I didn't want to be. I
can't read.
I didn't want to be ungrateful. But that joker was like a 9-inch.
They even make those anymore?
It was little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the smallest TV I've seen.
The box, the box was like this size.
Really?
And it sat on top of the TV.
Was it like an old school one, or was it a flat screen?
I'm like, shoot, where's the remote?
I don't think I've seen one smaller than about they even make them smaller than 27 inches anymore?
It's the size of it's like my laptop.
Oh, what are we doing? What are we doing?
I mean, it's a good 9 feet from me. I'm like
that's a wrap.
I can hear it.
It's like putting my phone across the room and be like, hey, watch TV on this. What are we doing?
I would have killed some time, though.
You'd have killed what were you going to try and watch?
It's the middle of the day, so maybe SVU rerun.
Of course. Of course.
What's wrong? What else you watching in the middle of the day?
I mean, we got there's a lot of game shows. I'll watch game shows.
I do like game shows.
I'll mess around with some game shows.
I like game shows. I watch some of the talking people shows on Fox.
Like Brian's head shows.
Brian's getting ready. Should be ready here in a minute.
Like some of those are actually pretty good.
I mean, I find them interesting sometimes. It's small doses for me. I can't ingest too much.
I like your boy.
Which one?
With the pretty hair.
Which one?
Nick Wright.
Oh, I don't like Nick Wright.
I know. It's his delivery that's grown on me. So I know you think I like rehab cases, and I always make it hard on myself. But I do like Cowherd, and I do like Nick Wright.
I don't mind Cowherd. I know a lot of people hate him. I don't mind him.
Oh man, I get shamed.
I don't really mind Cowherd. I used to listen to him a lot when he was not just on TV. I used to listen to him quite a bit. And I actually, so you know what it is? I actually don't mind Nick Wright. I have a hard time looking at him.
I think his hair is pretty.
The hair bothers me a lot. And listen, I know people might think I'm hard to look at. That's fine. But
hey, my buddy's dad,
Nick Wright's tough to look at.
Heard the part where I said I smelled his son's hair. I'm so embarrassed. Jake called and he's like, hey, man, my dad heard the segment. Pretty interesting take on you smelling my hair. I'm like, can I get more I needed to give more context to that.
Hey, can I get your conditioner? Can you tell me what you're using?
No.
What kind of product are we using?
I did ask.
Is that a mousse?
Okay. Again,
Really
just
more,
not sure that's necessary.
really more of a pomade guy myself.
What do you know about pomade?
I know it's a kind of hair product.
You got that kind of hair where you need pomade?
In the beard.
Oh, I could see that.
Yeah.
It's a little
beard.
coarse.
Yeah. Yeah. I got to use different stuff for the beard than the hair. It's a very different texture.
I had a question. So do we have a second before we get B?
Yeah, I think he's ready, but you probably have a second.
Oh, well, how come he isn't in? Oh, there he is.
Oh, I've been listening.
Don't have a second.
I've been listening, and I was in New Orleans for the Super Bowl, and I was at Caesars. I forget, it used to be called Harrah's, the only casino they have, or I think they have got some out on the Lake Pontchartrain or something. But I saw Nick Wright, and I gotta agree, Ravi, his hair bothers me too.
Honestly, when he was bald, I didn't mind him. I liked the bald look. I thought it was fine. As soon as he grew the hair out, I was like, bro, what are we doing?
Hey, do you know how?
I know that's like the most shallow thing in the world.
Well, you're a shallow. You're a shallow person.
I am. I'm incredibly vain.
Right. So we've hung out together, Brian. So you kind of know, and we've talked for years.
Sure.
I'm glad you're not embarrassed when I just randomly talk and tell stories, because you're like,
I love it.
Am I really associating with this dude? He's kind of weird.
Shane,
but I can't help it.
Shane, whenever Ravi rips on me, send me the clip, please. I want to hear it.
Hey, did you? Yeah, he kills me. Just tune in.
I bet he kills me too.
It's every day.
I mostly kill you to your face, though. It's
yeah, this is
make,
true.
Make fun of Florida a little bit. I went on a DJ Lagway rant yesterday. You probably wouldn't appreciate it, but it wasn't about you specifically.
Well, now did y'all see yesterday? Dallas Wilson is out a couple weeks. Our freshman who's ready to just be a superstar. Now he's in a hard cast out a couple of weeks.
I just have wondered over the course of the last year when DJ Lagway has actually been able to practice to get as much better as we're all assuming that he is.
Wow. Yes.
Yeah. Here he goes.
I go calf, hamstring, sports hernia, shoulder, another calf.
Yeah.
Still not sure about the shoulder. He hasn't played a lot of football, and he's supposed to have gotten a lot better. I'm not really sure what to do with that, B.
Sure. Well, there are a couple of clips of him throwing this week, and that arm looks just fine to me.
I mean, hey, that's really promising that your quarterback can really finally throw a football again.
I don't. You can't hear enough joy in my heart, B, that we are finally, after a handful of weeks in the summer of predictions, we are on the same page about one of your early plays, and bless your heart. You momentarily will become a Cyclone fan.
Yes.
I'm going to say this and move on and let you do your thing. How they're catching three, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It's a pick 'em at worst.
Yeah, so I have Iowa State 27 in my power rankings, and I have K-State 29. So on a neutral, I'd probably make Iowa State -1. So obviously at +3, and there's some 3.5s offshore. I saw FanDuel's at 3.5 yesterday. Even better at 3 and a hook. If it's, I mean, look, it's +130, +135 money line. So I think I'd rather just do all of it on +3 or 3.5. It's just not enough value to what if they lose by 1 or 2. So I'm just going with plus the points. But two typically overachieving teams, 2 well-coached teams, 2 legit Big 12 contenders. Nice week 0 game. Both have excellent returning quarterbacks. But Iowa State has won 4 of the last 5 in the rivalry, and they've covered 5 in a row. The only loss was 10-9. They beat them 29-21 in the regular season finale last year. So yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna be a good game. But I mean, I got to take the points with Iowa State, they were better last year. I mean, not just the head-to-head, but they went 11-3 last year, and both teams bring back a good amount of their production. So should be a good game. But I got to go Cyclones.
So, B, what do you think the discrepancy is there? Because everything that you said makes sense. I would basically make it a pick 'em as well.
Right.
Neutral site. You've got them 27-29. That's essentially a pick 'em or a -1 to Iowa State. Like, what do you think the odds makers are seeing to give Kansas State that edge? Or is it just do they just not like Iowa State that much?
I mean, maybe it's that narrative that's been pretty accurate that when Campbell has high expectations, they usually disappoint. And when he has no expectations, he usually has his best years. I mean, that's the only thing I can come up with because nothing on paper makes you think K-State -3 on a neutral, at least not to me.
So how much, like at first blush, how long of a way do you think this game goes in the topsy-turvy Big 12?
God,
I mean, it's week 1 in a mumble-jumbled conference, but it's eventually going to matter, don't you think?
Oh, I mean, it's a monster game in terms of the conference because, I mean, this could be a 4-way tie with everybody having 2 losses at the end. I mean, I think everybody, or not everybody, let's see. I think 4, 5. I think 7 teams can win this conference. Baylor, Utah, Iowa State, Arizona State, K-State, Texas Tech, and TCU. And I would have said BYU if not for the Retzlaff situation. And I think Houston's going to be better. Not win the conference, but I think Houston will be better. And, I mean, look, Kansas had all those one-possession games last year and then beat 3 ranked teams in a row in November. So, yeah, I mean, it's a very balanced conference and, yeah, huge game especially for week 0.
I know we've talked a little bit about Arizona State, but I still am having a hard time with how almost overlooked they seem. Like I would think they would be a bigger favorite in the conference.
According to ESPN's Bill Conley, they have 79% of their production back, which doesn't make sense since Scatterboo is gone and he had 1,711 rushing yards and 21 touchdowns.
And apparently with what he's doing in New York, he's pretty good.
Yeah, I've seen that as well.
Listen,
that guy's probably pretty important to what they did last year.
I get he's incredible, but you've got returning head coach, returning quarterback, which is
right.
more than almost every contender can say.
9 starters back on defense, only 21 lettermen lost, which is a very small number in the portal era. You got your top 2 tacklers back. Let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of your top 13 tacklers back. Jordan Tyson was your best receiver, 75 catches, 1,101 yards, 10 touchdowns. They didn't do great in the portal. They got 17 transfers. None of them were 4-star, 12 were Power 4 programs. I mean, they did go 6-2 in one-possession games last year, but one of those was the loss to Texas where they take a 7-point lead in the first overtime and we're this close to being in the semifinals. So, I think they're going to be very good, no doubt.
Let's get to some of the win totals that DB sent over. This is one we've been kind of debating about for a while now, whether it's the quarterback, whether it's the head coach, whether it's the new OC, and that is Oklahoma. Where are you at on the Sooners? Wow, big boomer Sooner guy. That's
so
right.
they
all in on the Sooners this year, B. I am.
I mean, let's see, where did I have them in my power rankings? I think they're going to be very, very improved. I mean, I like Mateer. They got a lot of NFL dudes on defense. They play pretty good down the stretch, even though they didn't have any wide receivers. It's a hot seat for Venables for sure. They were number 12 transfer specific class, 21 transfers, 5 4-stars, 8 from Power 4 programs. But I mean, guys, if they go 8-4, they might be a top 10 team. I mean, they could be a top 10 team like in my power rankings and go 8-4 with this schedule. I mean, they're plus 10.5 at last look on Texas, minus 2.5 to Michigan. Auburn at home be easy. At South Carolina is like probably like pick 'em or somebody -2 one way or the other. At Tennessee is going to be, that's probably around less than 3-point favorite. I mean, it's November. Who knows on injuries? They're plus 13.5 at Bama, but they get 2 weeks to prepare for Alabama, and Alabama doesn't. And then LSU at home. Oh yeah, Ole Miss at home. I mean, the schedule's brutal. So I'm not playing the win total because it's heavily juiced on 6.5. Isn't it like minus 180-ish on 6.5?
I just think the number's just too low.
Right, but I just don't like minus 180.
Yeah.
But I don't disagree. I mean, I think I initially
if that was UFC, you'd find like 4 things to parlay it with and come out with like a plus 800 return. Man, I've seen you spin some crazy juicy plays, man.
Well, it doesn't matter if they don't all all wins on those parlays.
Listen, I just appreciate the creativity, man.
I think
You're only a victim of your own mind.
I
It's
think
okay.
you can get over as low as minus 150 for Oklahoma. Does that change your mind at all? Or
Still juicy.
Too juicy still.
I'm not gonna, puke if I lose a minus 150. I'll puke if I lose a minus 180. But I just so many. I mean, they could lose so many of these swing games and be 7-5 wins. Though, what am I talking about?
No, you weren't a big juicy fruit gum as a kid, where you chew it for 5 minutes and get your enjoyment and have to spit that thing
gone.
out.
Big red, but
Brian
gone
Edwards,
quick.
anti-juice. I get it. All right, let's talk. For as good as they have been, I hear no one talk about them in the offseason. Maybe it's a foregone conclusion. Maybe it's Bama, LSU, and Texas, and oh, by the way, there's this one program down there in Athens. Got a pretty good coach. Won a couple of natties.
Yeah.
How is Georgia flying under the radar?
Because they don't have a star quarterback, which they always felt good about Carson Beck, and then you had 2 years of Stetson. So you've not only have you felt like they have the best or one of the top 3 or 4 rosters in the country the last 5 years, you've also thought they had an elite quarterback. And right now, again, I've said this before. Stockton, they didn't lose that game in Notre Dame because of him. He threw a perfect deep ball that should have been like a 75-yard touchdown early in the third quarter. You had the sideline interference in the first half. I thought he played okay that game, but he still only started once, and he doesn't look elite. And their roster doesn't look as formidable as recent years. Their O-line's only 20th in Phil Steele's national unit rankings. Now they're top 12 in every other position group except for quarterback. They're 33, but look, they're still going to be really good. But
their schedule's not crazy either.
Not for the vaunted SEC.
I know, not for not for what everybody tells me. SEC, so good. Like it's really not crazy.
I will point out that Auburn gets 2 weeks to prepare for them, and it's a third game in 3 weeks for Georgia. And then Texas gets 2 weeks to prepare for them, and it's a third game in 3 weeks for Georgia. So slight, situational advantages for Auburn and Texas, although the Texas game is in Athens. I like Georgia Tech plus 13.5 in games of the year in Atlanta, where the Falcons play, not at Bobby Dodd. Should have beat them last year in Athens. It's pretty juicy on 9.5, right? When was that?
I've got it at minus 170 for the over on 9.5.
Super juicy.
Minus 170
is the lowest I have, but I've seen it as high as minus 190.
Look, I could see them losing to Auburn. They've lost 9 out of 10 to Bama, although they get them at home. They could certainly lose to Texas, and then Florida and Georgia Tech. And even Ole Miss at home, they'll be favored or 13.5 to Georgia Tech, but and they're 7.5 to Florida in games of the year. But those games aren't layups. 9-3 is not out of the. It could happen. I doubt it.
B, do you get into the Heisman? Because with some of these long shots and the value, man, $10 on a handful of guys could pay huge dividends. You mentioned Georgia Tech. They're not going to probably win enough games, but people will take a flyer on Haynes King. People will take a flyer on Mateer. People will, they like Arch or I don't know, man. But there seems to be enough good odds.
Plus 2,500.
Yeah, $10 goes a long way.
I took 2 long shots. I took Haynes King at 90-1.
How did I know?
And I took Sawyer Robertson at 80-1.
Oh.
And Haynes King gets a primetime game at Colorado on ESPN on Friday night of week 1. He gets week 3 at home to Clemson. He gets the regular season finale to Georgia. Orchestrate an upset against Clemson and or Georgia. Throw for 300 and run for 80 or 120 and, account for 4 or 5 touchdowns at Colorado and win 9 games. Maybe you're in a showcase game against Georgia and you pull an upset and have a monster game. He had a monster game against Georgia last year.
I will say this as a former Heisman voter before I got connected to a university. 8's the minimum wins, I think, as it was a real struggle with Lamar. I think Haynes has got to get to 8 to be seriously considered.
I think they will. I think they get to 8, maybe 9. And Baylor, they got a showcase game against all. I'm sorry, go ahead.
One of the best running back quarterback duos in the country.
Really good
in Waco.
Really good O-line. He's got his top 2 receivers back. He's got a tight end, Michael Trigg, that was second team All Big 12 last year. He's got the Auburn showcase game on Friday of week 1, at SMU in week 2, ASU and Leavitt in week 4. So he faces Leavitt and Jennings in week 2 and 4. I mean, you get off to a 3-0 start and you throw for 300 and change or a 4-0 start. And you throw for 300 and change. I mean, you go into October, one of the top 5 guys, right? If you're Sawyer Roberts.
And I'm just telling you, Baylor's offense would be incredible. They were good a year ago. They couldn't stop anybody, which is Aranda's problem as a defensive guy. But offensively, I'm with you. Baylor will cook.
I will throw this out at you. Lagway's 18 to 20 to 1 at most books, but FanDuel has moved him last week from 20 to 25, and this week from 25 to 28 to 1. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, it's hard to win the Heisman when you're not playing much football.
Right?
I'd rather take my $10 and go to Arby's.
I'm gonna take my Jeremiah Love plus 4,000 money and just
do your thing.
See what I got there. B, we appreciate the time as always. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good one.
Thanks, Brian.
Coming up next, we're gonna talk to Michael Bruntz from Husker 24/7. But first, a reminder: if you're out on the roads this morning, keep that seatbelt fastened and make it click. It prevents injuries and saves lives, but only when worn properly. This message is from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. More Hurrdat Sports Live coming up next.
What's the tackling look like? Yeah, I would say from a physicality standpoint, that's just something we got to keep working every day. I think we've had, maybe this is our second full padded practice. We've had a couple practices in uppers, But it's, to me, I think I've said this before, but football's such a unique game in that you can practice, all off season and lift and train weights, but the contact aspect of this game and how it's being limited, by NCAA rules, and even when you're in the NFL, like the NFLPA, you can only have so many contact days, so you got to maximize those. So, we're working a lot of thud and just strong, thud tackles now, and eventually we'll get to some live to the ground stuff. But you got to have that balance of maximizing the physicality of your whole team, but our defense, but at the same time keeping everybody healthy. So I think it's a work in progress.
At Centros Federal Credit Union, we have the tools and resources to help our members fulfill their financial goals. With a focus on building a stronger community for the next generation of leaders. Centros Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
I definitely think we're heading in that direction. We, with having the time that we have nowadays over the summer to spend a few hours with the guys throughout the weeks, I think that has definitely helped, and it has allowed our guys to kind of pick up where we left off this spring. And now we're kind of getting into, we started real elementary, but now we're getting into the middle school and trying to get into the high school stuff right now as well.
Who's emerging as leaders in your room?
I would say it's multiple guys. Deshaun is being more vocal than what he has been in the past, which is good to see. Marquise, he's always been a vocal guy, so he's doing a good job as well. And there's a couple of the other guys that we're trying to, push to do a little more. Malcolm, he's a really quiet guy, but I do see Malcolm at times pulling guys off to the side and coaching them up, so that's definitely a step in the right direction. And then Sierra is another guy that is emerging as a leader in that room, and he does the same thing as Malcolm, pulling guys off to the side, and he's also becoming a bit more vocal in front of the room as well. So I would say those four guys are the ones that are standing out as leaders.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. Don't forget, you can see live music every Friday at the La Vista location. Make sure you come check it out. No cover. Music starts at 6. And our interview with Michael Bruntz from Husker 24/7 starts right now. Bruntz, how are you this morning?
Not bad. What's up?
Hi, Michael. How are we doing?
Not bad. Not bad.
I feel like you're kind of mocking me, but
not at all. What are you guys chit-chatting about today?
On our chit-chat show?
Yeah.
Our chit-chat show a couple weeks ago, I said to young Mr. L3 over here, because nobody can spell his last name correctly, but anywho.
I don't think it's that hard. I mean, Bruntz has known it for a long time.
I really like what your A's are doing, and I like them even more after trading M&M. That was a very nice haul you received.
Yeah.
And I hope that you will not sell off your assets in the next 3 years before you get out of that trashy temporary place that you're playing baseball.
Yeah. No, the haul was good. More teams should trade with the Padres. I feel like they're a willing trade partner.
Yeah, they couldn't care less about assets. It's just all in.
Like top 5 prospect? I don't care.
Yeah.
All in, man.
Yeah. Yeah, who do you want? It's like it wasn't even a fire sale. It was like a garage sale
Like a shopping
with like
spree.
good stuff. Yeah.
I mean, apparently the fathers think they can win by acquiring like 55 closers. I mean, what difference does it make?
Well, if they don't win, they'll at least be fun. I mean, Mason Miller's fun to watch pitch, which that's half the
Yeah, did you
battle.
see what Uriel turned around the other night?
Did it? What was it?
103.9. He turned it around to leave the yard. 103 point Nina.
What was it? What was it off the bat? Like that's got to be like what, like 110? One.
I can't remember. It was just
It's gotta be.
It
I
was
mean-
the hardest pitch thrown that left the yard in
Yeah.
Major League Baseball history. And
That's
I'm like,
new.
well, fudge, isn't Aroldis Chapman still pitching? That human gas can would give up a bomb or two, but maybe he wasn't touching 103.9.
Not if he probably had to get a little ticked off to do that, which I mean that's probably not rare either. But yeah, that's 103. That's something.
He's still pretty regularly touching like 103, 104. I just don't think he gets turned around when he's throwing it that hard.
Chapman?
Yeah.
Seems like he's been in the league about 34 years, though, doesn't he?
He has. He's been there forever.
That little rubber arm and the crazy side slots, like,
You remember when he used to be like a beanpole too? He was skinny when he came in.
yeah, he's on the,
huge.
Yeah, do you know why?
I'm gonna
Because
guess
he
juice, but-
he gets advice from Dontrell Willis. Have you have you not seen the transformation of Dontrell Willis?
I have not.
Yeah, beanpole to Golden Corral.
He's, how old is he?
Who, Dontrell?
Got to be 30.
No, Chapman. He's got to be like my age, right?
I think he's like 36.
Well, you make it seem like that's old. You're 36.
I'm 37. I'm almost 38, son.
Do you like the sun bit? Brunsy,
37. 37, by the way.
I was right there. I'm just saying, for a baseball player who's been throwing 104 for over a decade, that's pretty old.
Brunsy, I don't really know what you see in this guy because every day he comes with some new snark and he's pretty much incorrigible. And if Nebraska wins 10, it will be the most happy and miserable I will ever be having to work alongside this
Ain't
guy.
nobody going to be able to tell me nothing.
See what I mean?
Well, you're at 10 and 2
He
now.
makes
That's
being
where you're at?
prickish fun, right? It's
Yeah.
kind of weird.
It's fun for me.
So
yeah, I'm at 10 and 2, Bruns.
I gotta ask you, Mr. 110 over 87. And a lot of hot takes after one padded practice at night on a Saturday. Was your enthusiasm tempered or was it heightened?
Well,
the chuckle. What's with the chuckle? What's with the chuckle?
I'm trying to decide which way I want to go. I could go one way. I'll go that way, but I'll go a different way first. I'll double back.
Okay.
I think it's a good sign that it felt like most of the one-on-ones and the position positional stuff back and forth. It felt back and forth, right? Like that to me is a good sign for the most part. I think when you can see everybody out there, I think you realize how much depth they've been able to build the last couple of years. Like I can only think of maybe like one position to maybe two positions where you're kind of like, okay, there needs to be some building done here. But I think for the most part, it was noticeable to me that even at the positions that I went in expecting to be needing to do a lot of work, there were still a lot of one-on-ones being won. Like, and the direction I was going to go secondly was the highlight of the night, the kicking. Was that the highlight? Was 7 for 7? Was that the highlight of the whole practice?
Not for me, but I could understand the argument. I understand the argument. I was excited about it. I was excited about 7 for 7 with 3 different kickers.
Yeah, that was okay. But no, I think that was kind of the main takeaways. I don't know that there was anybody that I saw that I was like, okay, this I had this person completely written off or coming out of left field and they're now, in a too deep conversation. I don't think there was any of that, but I think when you actually see guys out there practicing and going through things, you can tell the work that they've done to the roster the last 2 years and where they're at now, not only with bringing guys along, but also just I think some of the additions they made at the portal this past cycle were made at the right spots, and I think they've got the right guys in certain places.
Bruntz, I was going to ask you a different question, but then you made me think of something else, so I'm going to go with that instead.
I feel like you just swerved in front of me like you did the other night when we were pulling up to the studio.
I was like, hey,
no blinker. Listen, Bruntz, no blinker, no nothing. My man just got over.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, okay. I guess you won over.
I gave you one of these. It's a blinker.
Okay.
Zipper merging.
Yeah.
I want him to zip it all right. That's for sure.
I was going to ask, you mentioned that you didn't really – there was 2 guys that I had sort of forgotten about that I thought actually looked pretty good on Saturday. And, again, it's one padded practice. But Maverick Noonan and Dylan Rogers, who were working kind of in those, like, working in some jack spots and some edge situations. I had mostly forgotten about those 2 guys. I hadn't thought about them much, and I thought they looked good mixing in with guys that I am fairly confident are in the 2 deep.
Yeah, no, Rogers especially is somebody I think that kind of gets lost in the shuffle a little bit. What John Butler said earlier in the week, they feel like they've got a good 3 deep at that linebacker spot. I mean, I guess in my mind, I was thinking, if you get to 4 guys you can count on reasonably at that spot, you're probably feeling okay about things.
Isn't it amazing how we +1 that? Remember when Coach Rule last year said you want 3 guys, and now it's like 3. Give me 4. Give me 4.
Well, last year they were very solidly at 3, and that was kind of the cutoff mark of where things got a little dicey. I think you get to 4, that's pretty good. 5 feels a little greedy, but I mean, I think that's what I mean. Like, I think they've at certain spots done an okay job of developing guys. I mean, I feel like we talk about this weekly, but that linebacker spot is a player. There's been a lot of development being done the last 2 or 3 years. And I mean, Rogers is in that conversation. I mean, he was a guy that was probably buried on the depth chart, but has stuck it out. And I'd agree with you. I thought he looked pretty good in what they were asking him to do.
Bruntz, did you have a moment, considering you guys run a message board and everybody's like hot take central? Do you ever think to yourself, did this person watch the same thing that I did?
Yeah, I mean, that's not even the message board stuff.
Twitter, it's people I talk to.
Being
on
wow.
I
didn't realize you were so principled. Being on there, thought you walked around a little more grace. I'm sorry.
Being on this show every week. I mean, there's a lot of things.
No, it's like
What a jerk.
That's not a jerk thing to say. Like, I get text messages from people, and I'm like, I was at the game. Did I watch the like? I have to go back and watch games to make sure that I like, did I black out
Like
during
how
a certain
you
part of
ask
that
him the
game?
question and then his answer makes him a jerk. You let him into that.
It was his delivery. I didn't tell him what to say.
I have no other way to deliver it. This is the only way I can deliver it.
Message board. And then fellow Millard Northian chimes in, that's just life. And then he doubles down. Like, I'm just watching the train wreck unfold.
Roll thanks.
Oh, gee. I just made up Millard Northian, too. That's like not even a thing.
The North remembers.
Carry on, though, Bruntz. Because I hate to be this guy, but I mean, I am what I am. Sometimes I'm like, how'd you guys draw that conclusion? I didn't see that at all. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think I frequently think that. I think sometimes too, like you hear things like in a press conference setting and people kind of run with it about, well, if this was said, then that means this, and that means they're deficient here and need to be better here. And I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I think that sometimes too. I mean, I think people kind of focus on different things and that kind of affects the conversation a little bit. So I don't know. Yes, I think there is probably not consensus, especially in an open practice setting where, like, you've got offense down here, defense down there. You're probably looking this way for one rep. You miss a rep over here. Like you're not getting the whole. It's tough to kind of get the whole picture, I think, from a practice like that. And it's too bad that. And this isn't a criticism of the way things are, because I get it. Like, it would be nice to be able to see, like, okay, like this week to this week, this is how this person has come along. To get a little bit more, a few more data points, I guess, than just the one open practice. But I understand the limitations of that.
You need a few more, just a few more. Yeah, I can't read the chat. I can't read the chat without my glasses.
I didn't know you wore glasses.
Jeez, Bruntz. He's out of the tree of trust.
I can read this font
I didn't know.
I sing this dude's praises every week.
I looked up and it was like a totally different person.
You act like I just round down Harrison naked. He's like, you wear glasses?
Are those readers? Are those cheaters?
Yes, geez.
It's because he refuses to go to an eye doctor and get actual glasses.
I don't need you conspiring with our guests.
I'm just saying.
Give it a rest.
I'm just saying.
Stang.
It feels no. I
was gonna welcome Damon into the glasses tree, like the tree of the
yeah, it's a different tree of trust. It's
I'm horrible, Bruntz.
One of us.
I can't read. Okay. Would you guys like to carry on?
That was funny.
Of course it was.
Bruntz, your answer there and actually DB's question are both pieces of evidence that it's my argument that they should let us watch more practice, because nobody knows what they're watching anyway.
Yeah. Why don't you pitch that to Coach Rule? I think he'd be all in.
I will. Let's do it. Give me put him on speaker. We'll do it right now.
They start team meetings at 9.
Shoot. All right. We'll do it after. But I legitimately, that's why I think you get so much variability on what people see and what people observe, because for the most part, people don't actually know what they're watching. And to your point, there's a lot going on. So you can kind of dial in on a couple groups, but you can really only see one thing at a time, which means you're missing 90% of what else is happening for the most part, except for in those, out of Saturday, there was 2 basically live periods where it was actually real football that you were just lining up and running plays. So you could let people watch a ton of practices, and I don't think you'd be giving very much away.
I'd probably agree. Fix that, please. Go ahead, Bruntz.
I don't know if there's a question there.
Bruntz, you're getting ready to tell us how you're like the Norm Chow, Buddy Ryan and me knows exactly what I'm watching. Is that where you're getting ready to go with that, Bruntz?
Not at all.
Mike Shanahan?
No, I think it's your point is correct. I think I'm trying to think in back when we were able to watch more and it's been a long time, you at least kind of get more of a sense of like, okay, this guy is more a part of the plan, I guess, than maybe what you would gather from just one practice. Like, that's fair, I think.
Yeah.
And a guy has a really good practice, and if it's a practice in front of everybody, I mean, the narratives kind of go from there. But that's just you're playing with limited information there that you can actually see with your eyes. So I get it. I mean, it's and especially here, there's a large media horde, and it gets larger whenever there's open practice. So it's challenging to have that many people there, but yeah, I mean, it's with the one practice thing, you are kind of you have to fight to not be a prisoner of the moment, I think, just with what you're able to see, and there's just a lot of a lot of bodies moving around, and just a lot going on too. So that's always the key, I guess, kind of keep that in mind.
We were talking earlier in the week, and this is after Coach Holgerson talked, and he was talking about the running back spot and Mackay, and he said, "No, if he goes backwards, I'm gonna, basically just kick him right in the rear and remind him like that he's not there yet." And I was telling Ravi, like, I think that's kind of cool because I pit it against Mackay's personality, who's highly motivated by what he needs to do to get on the field because they told him clearly what he's got to do better. Coach Holgerson reiterates it in a presser kind of anecdotally, yet I think it's going to be exactly who they are as an offense philosophically, right? Like, if you do X, Y, and Z, you give yourself a chance to play. If you don't do X, Y, and Z, then you're not. We're moving on to the next guy. Like, when you're listening to Coach Holgerson, have you listened to a guy that with as much brevity but tells you basically all you need to know is Coach Holgerson? He's not a ton of analogies, not real storytelling, but he tells you a ton.
No, it's refreshing. I mean, I don't think there's much mystery with us, or certainly probably not. I can't imagine that he's any less direct with his players. So going back to last year when he came in, I mean, I remember talking to, was it Ja'Cory Barney, I think, right after
the whole wide receivers, the blocking is awful.
Yeah.
I mean,
but he said, like, it was after a game, I think, and he was just talking about how, like, very, very direct he was about, like, what they were doing wrong, why they were doing things a certain way, those kinds of things. And I think guys just respond to that. Like, it's clear communication. It's almost like a checklist. Like, if you do this and this and this, like, okay, we can get you on the field and see what you can do. Guys don't feel like they're getting jerked around if they have clear expectations. I mean, I think this generation of player probably appreciates the why and wanting to know why they have to do things. And I don't know. I mean, I think Dana kind of cuts through a lot of the noise.
You gotta recruit guys like that can handle that too, though.
So that was going to be my follow-up, is like, is it as much as anything knowing the information versus having someone who receives information that way well?
Yeah. I mean, I think maybe that's the benefit too of, having the off season, getting to know guys and not just, having to coordinate an offense the week you arrive somewhere. I mean, there's probably, getting to know you period with guys and how guys operate and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, I also think, based on kind of a lot of the guys that Nebraska recruits, I think a lot of guys are kind of wired that way. I think Matt Rule kind of naturally gravitates towards guys that would probably receive information that way. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I appreciate when Dana's up there. I mean, I don't feel like he's selling us a bill of goods or managing expectations or anything like that. I mean, he's kind of at that point in his career with, why does he need to do that? Just be honest and be direct.
Bruntz, did you pay much attention or learn a ton or whatever? A lot of people talk about the dynamics on defense with Addison being a former DC, Phil Snow's presence, Coach Butler, year one. Did you pay much attention to like the dynamics and how the teaching works, or did you just walking away with, yeah, man, that's John Butler. He's the defensive coordinator. Like, did you pay much attention to those dynamics?
I was over by the defensive backs when they were doing the individual periods, and Phil Snow and Addison Williams were working the same drill. Like it was like, that's a lot of experience with a small group of guys just kind of running through things. And, you know, I didn't get the sense that Phil Snow was just there to defer. You know what I mean? Like, if there's a drill that's needs to be run a certain way, he's going to run it a certain way. He's going to have he wasn't shy about, you know, weighing in on things, even though Addison Williams is the position coach. And it was that way too in the spring. I mean, he was doing that with the young guys, especially because he was running a lot of the groups with the younger freshmen and red shirts and things like that. So, yeah, I don't know. It's you know, when you just kind of see the size of the position groups, I mean, the size of the defensive back group almost demands that you have more eyeballs on that group, right? Like it's a really big group. And John Butler was kind of over there, but he was having to kind of walk around and things like that. But you also notice that, you know, when they're doing team periods, I mean, where's John Butler watching from? Like he's usually back behind the safeties, watching things. So, I mean, that tells me that at least he kind of always has a little bit of a foot in that part of the defense. But it seemed like it, you know, from what little I saw, it seemed like those three were kind of managing things pretty well and how they were working and things like that.
Bruntz, last thing for me before we get you out of here, you know, that dynamic has always struck me as really interesting, right? You're talking about Addison Williams, Coach Butler, Coach Snow, but you also brought up a really good point, which I hadn't thought about. With that many guys in the room, I mean, we're talking north of 20 defensive backs, you probably do need several more hands in the coaching kind of pot than we maybe give consideration for. And we actually do see this in other spots too, don't we? Where like there's multiple wide receivers coaches, but we kind of only talk about Da'Kill Shorts. Like if it weren't guys that were like, if it wasn't a name that we knew in Phil Snow, do you think we'd even be like having this discussion, or would it just be like, oh, that's just another guy they brought on?
No, well, the discussion would be a lot different. I mean,
sure, yeah.
The offensive line's one where, you know, you have Donovan Raiola, you have a long time, you know, assistant offensive line coach. I forget his Aaron. I'm blanking on it. Aaron. Anyways, they've got more bodies over there. It's a different conversation just because of who Phil Snow is. I mean, you know, in the Matt Rule orbit, there's very few people that are bigger than Phil Snow, and you know, you have to assume that, you know, when it gets time to game plan and you're in season, you know, if his voice is going to carry a lot more weight than it would if it were just somebody else. And I think there's value to that though. Like I think having somebody else that's been a coordinator for so long to kind of bounce things off of and be in the conversation. I mean, I think there's a ton of value with that. I think there's some coordinators that appreciate that kind of, you know, weigh in or, you know, having that person on staff. And some coordinators maybe might not be as comfortable with that. So, you know, I haven't gotten the sense that, you know, that there's any kind of stress about him being there. But I do think having somebody that's, you know, that experienced, there's only, you know, that only adds value to your staff.
You talking about Coling?
Yeah, that's the name. I was completely blanking on him. Sorry. I just glossed over there.
Let me ask you. So I'll get you out of here on this, young Michael. If you looked at the schedule, you know what's ailed Nebraska. You get one unit to lead the way as the identity of this football team in 2025 with this schedule. Is it Eck? Is it Butler? or is it Dana? What unit is the face of this franchise in 2025 for Nebraska to have Ravi be incorrigible? December.
If we're assuming that each group is going to be about what they've been, because I think the defense is going to be solid. I think it's got to be the offense. I think special teams will be better, but I think if you're able to just be a little bit more consistent, a little bit more efficient on offense, I think that would be a huge help, specifically the running game. I'd like to see a little bit more in the running game, a little bit more of something that you can rely on late in games, because they're all going to be close. I mean, you gotta be able to move the ball on the ground, and so I think the offense has to be the one that's got to be kind of take a little bit more of a step forward this year from what they've been. I mean, special teams is an obvious one, but I think the offense, if you get more consistency there, I think that you could do something there.
Wow, can you imagine if the face of the franchise in 2025 was Eckler in special teams?
He doesn't have. It's just got to be middle of the road. That's all you got to get to.
I don't know, man. I kind of get a little goosebumpy. That would be sensational. It's not sexy, I get it, but
7 for 7.
We started with it and we'll end with it. That's Michael Bruntz, Husker 24/7. Bruntz, appreciate it as always.
Find a way to hang on to Kurtz, okay?
Yeah, we're working on it. I'm passing the hat.
All right, buddy.
See you guys.
Well, his Roman Anthony got 8-1-30. I mean,
Hey,
that's extortion.
No, that's a great deal. Are you kidding me?
Well, it elevators. It can get to 200.
It can get to 230, but still, I mean, we're seeing guys sign for like $30-40 million a year. Age 29 season through that thing. We love it.
Let somebody else buy the 30 to 40 years.
Exactly. Done too much of that already.
Yeah.
Bruntz, appreciate it as always. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah,
Thanks, Mike.
It's our friend Michael Bruntz. Well, my friend at least. You seemed out on him today.
Man, tough.
No. It's all good.
As my coach said yesterday during our staff meeting, I don't know. For a nice guy, you sure are an easy target.
We'll be back.
I think that was a compliment.
More Hurrdat Sports Live.
What's the tackling look like? Yeah, I would say from a physicality standpoint, that's just something we got to keep working every day. I think we've had, maybe this is our second full padded practice. We've had a couple practices in uppers, But it's, to me, I think I've said this before, but football's such a unique game in that you can practice, all off season and lift and train weights, but the contact aspect of this game and how it's being limited, by NCAA rules, and even when you're in the NFL, like the NFLPA, you can only have so many contact days, so you got to maximize those. So, we're working a lot of thud and just strong, thud tackles now, and eventually we'll get to some live to the ground stuff, but you got to have that balance of maximizing the physicality of your whole team, but our defense, but at the same time keeping everybody healthy. So I think it's a work in progress.
At Centros Federal Credit Union, we have the tools and resources to help our members fulfill their financial goals. With a focus on building a stronger community for the next generation of leaders. Centros Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
I definitely think we're heading in that direction. We with having the time that we have nowadays over the summer to spend a few hours with the guys throughout the weeks, I think that has definitely helped, and it has allowed our guys to kind of pick up where we left off this spring, and now we're kind of getting into, we started real elementary, but now we're getting into the middle school and trying to get into the high school stuff right now as well.
Who's emerging as leaders in your room?
I would say it's multiple guys. Deshaun is being more vocal than what he has been in the past, which is good to see. Marquise, he's always been a vocal guy, so he's doing a good job as well. And there's a couple of the other guys that we're trying to, push to do a little more. Malcolm, he's a really quiet guy, but I do see Malcolm at times pulling guys off to the side and coaching them up, so that's definitely a step in the right direction. And then Sierra is another guy that is emerging as a leader in that room, and he does the same thing as Malcolm, pulling guys off to the side, and he's also becoming a bit more vocal in front of the room as well. So I would say those 4 guys are the ones that are standing out as leaders.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. And, sometimes when you're spending money, you're like, I wish I could be saving money. Well, at Centris Federal Credit Union, you can do both at the same time with their Centris Roundup program. Every purchase you make with your Centris Visa debit card gets rounded up to the nearest whole dollar. That roundup amount then gets transferred from your checking to your savings account. It's a small way to make a big impact on your savings. Visit Centris online at centrisfcu.org to learn more about Centris Roundup and how you can enroll today. Terms and conditions apply. Federally insured by NCUA. DB, we were talking about something off air here, spurred on by the lovely conversation we had with Michael Bruntz. I liked it more than you did, I think. But we were talking about a guy off air that, I think it reminded me of something Coach Rule was talking about last week. Right? He's talking about the development of players, and he's talking about, okay, well, you got your athletic ability. That's kind of the raw materials you're working with, right? And then you get the technical ability. That's teaching them how to play the position. And then they get the tactical ability, which is teaching them what decisions to make, right? And so I'm thinking about certain guys on the team, and I'm thinking about that distinction, right? Because I don't know that I've heard it put in those terms before, technical versus tactical, right? You have to have the raw starting materials at a certain level to start in the first place, right? But the technical versus tactical is where I think you see a lot of guys that we label as super talented or super athletic or whatever differentiate in some of those areas. And
I 100% agree.
And so I was thinking, the sequencing that he said made sense, the athletic, then the technical, then the tactical. But I was also kind of struggling with it a little bit because, at least in my experience coaching basketball, obviously don't have any football coaching experience, a lot of times that tactical part is almost instinctual.
So I consider, for me,
okay,
I consider tactical more the gameplay, the strategy,
like scheme,
like the goals.
Okay.
Right? I think technical, and I think skill mastery.
Yeah, so you're talking about like, hey, this is how you get in and out of a break as a wide receiver.
That's technical.
Right. Yeah, I agree there. So when I thought about tactical, when he said it, and you probably are more right when I think about the term tactical, but my thought was decision-making within a play. Like if I am because I'll be honest, the guy where I was talking about was Deshaun Singleton, right? Okay. I've struggled with Deshaun Singleton a little bit because, even I think it was first year after the first spring, Coach Rule was like, oh man, there's a guy, Deshaun Singleton, we think super talented. And you were like, oh man, I don't know. That's kind of an interesting guy for him to point out. And then he played a little bit in that first year, got injured. We didn't see him. And then he came up again last year as a guy they really liked. And he played a lot last year. And I'm sitting there and I go, okay, it doesn't seem like he necessarily processes things as quickly as I would like to land on the right decision.
Yeah, I was asking a couple guys last night about like what's been the jump. Hey, you got a chance to make a move. You're this, you're that. And it's about the processing and how quickly they could do it. And this is kind of a life thing, but have you ever heard of Viktor Frankl? So Viktor Frankl is a guy, he's got a lot of sayings, but one of my favorites is he said, between between stimulus and response, there's a space. And in that space is your power to choose your response.
Okay.
In the response lies the real growth and freedom. So the space between the stimuli and the response, what you do in that space, oftentimes in a game that's played in high velocity, high collisions, very quick, and in 4 to 5 second spurts as a play, it's that space that's often the difference.
So I think that's what I'm talking about.
I understand what you're saying.
And I think what he might have been talking about was the response.
I think I understand what you're saying. He's talking about
his space is too long, I think. When I'm talking about like
you're talking about, yeah.
Like I think his space takes too long, and that's where I'm like, I see everything else that you see. I like all that other stuff. But I actually think now that you're describing it, when Coach Rule was talking about the tactical, I think he was talking about the response. I'm talking about the space.
Yeah. So
because the space, I think, is almost instinctual. It's
so
hard.
They're kind of different. So if you like actually it's Viktor Frankl, but
yeah.
If you like my memorization of that space is kind of the difference.
Yeah.
Because do you know what that is? That's I'm beat. Do I panic? Do I grab? It's
the processing time.
It's, hey, this wide receiver is super vulnerable. Targeting, layoff. I could clip. Hands ran by, not. Like,
it's the ball's in the air. Do I break on it to try and make an interception, or do I hand up? Do I keep him in front of me and make the tackle?
The time you see it versus the time you actually do something, I think, is the difference in super high level.
It's the only reason Brock Purdy's in the NFL.
High level. And it's, you know what, it's hard to see.
But when somebody doesn't have it, you can see
to
it.
not. Yeah, that's what it's
when
easy when you don't see it.
When somebody doesn't have it, you're like, oh my God.
Yeah. So
but when somebody has it, a lot of times we attribute it to other things.
Yeah. You know who has it at an extremely high level?
Who?
Joe Burrow.
Yes. 100%.
Right. I understand what you're saying.
100%. Like I just said, it's the only reason Brock Purdy's in the league. Nothing else he does is special.
Yeah.
That's the difference between like him and like Chase Daniels.
No, I get it. Yeah.
Is the space.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the thing where
I agree with Victor. That's like where the growth happens. And sometimes it can be in life too. Right?
Yeah.
The whole E + R = O. It's like, and oftentimes we actually have enough time to think about it, and we still.
Well, you use that example with yourself all the time. You're like, sometimes I will very well know the outcomes of my decisions, and I'll do it anyway.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
That's the space we're talking about right there.
Supposed to make me the difference between like an animal and human, right? Because it's the ability to have a rational response.
Yeah.
Irrational makes you more animal-like. But I agree with you, not necessarily with the Singleton thing, and we'll see how that plays out.
That's the thing that bothered me about him last year.
Right? Like sometimes you just want to play faster, and you've seen guys that can play a lot than they really are.
Duke Reimer.
Bullock,
sure, yeah, Bullock.
Super sudden. Now, he is going to test well, don't get me wrong.
Reimer's a guy that I looked at, though, and I was like, he makes really good decisions really quickly.
You know, and it's just like, I get it. But when you see it, that's a beautiful thing to watch. Most people, the layperson, calls it anticipation.
Yeah, I think I call it instincts.
I'll take it. That's Mike Brown.
We're going to talk to
super instinctive
Jeff Ermann here in just a minute to preview.
Didn't take him long to process either, though.
Preview Maryland as we continue Nebraska's schedule breakdown. That's DB. I'm Ravi. Lulla. It's Hurrdat Sports Live.
Give me that cheddar, we getting Rico. Big money rolls like burritos. Give me that hot sauce, no pico. Give me that.
Just surreal. It's a dream job. I said it in the interview a long time ago when I was announced as the new head coach. There's just nowhere else I want to be, no other people I want to be surrounded with. So even though it's not my first practice, we had practices this spring. It is the first day of the regular season, so it's a different feel to it. And we had a playthrough this morning and played a lot of volleyball. They looked great. It was just awesome to have them all back in the gym. I again said it back then, like, culture is who we are at Creighton, and that is something I promised them again a few days ago. Like, that isn't going to change. That's who we are. That's our identity as a program. The word that they came up with this year was grit, and different letters stand for different things. And so just being a little bit more gritty. Obviously, we were a team full of seniors last year, a lot of experience. So some new players to kind of welcome in and get going. And so just being gritty. And I think they showed that this morning in our first practice.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DBM Ravi Lulla, wrapping up the show here on a Thursday with Jeff Ermann, founder of InsideMDSports, as we continue to preview Nebraska's football schedule this season. Jeff, how are you this morning?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Jeff, we're good, man. It's good to talk to you. It's been a little bit. And I was very, very happy that that Maryland was on the same day as Nebraska, as I was down at Big Ten Media Days, because I always think Coach Loxley's interesting, right? He's a really good recruiter. He seems like a straight shooter. I was vibing with the red slacks. I thought he looked sharp. I always try to put two and two together based on the product that I see on the field versus the guy that I hear talk. How closely for you in this 7 years has these things been related? How closely is what we think we see versus what we see on Saturdays related to Coach Loxley?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he is a pretty straight shooter. You know, he's not one of these robotic coaches who's just going to spew a bunch of cliches. Of course, at times, you know, you're going to get those with any coach, but, you know, what you see is pretty much what you get, and that's why, you know, the fans have grown to like him, even though now at this point, you know, they want to see kind of a bounce-back season this year out of him. But, yeah, that's pretty much who he is.
So one of the things that really caught me, I mean, you don't see a lot of coaches willingly admit that they lost a locker room, at least not while they still have that job.
Yeah.
How did that strike you? Was that something that maybe you were aware of last year, even if you wouldn't have used that terminology necessarily? Because that, I mean, honestly, I'm not that I pay the closest attention to the day-to-day of Maryland football, but that caught me off guard.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised, really. He had mentioned that to me a little while ago, not necessarily in season last year, but he had, you know, his biggest complaint was that Maryland was so far behind with resources. They had a $3 million roster, as he's mentioned, while some of these other Big Ten schools had many multiples of that. And, you know, so he felt like for the first time you had a little bit of money to hand out, but not enough to go around. So guys were jealous, and that led to issues and things like that. And he feels like, you know, he believes strongly that now that with revenue sharing, it's going to, you know, even the playing field, at least to some extent, and give him a better chance of winning and keeping his guys happy.
So, Jeff, what's the balance in terms of the transition of the culture, right? I think you had 30 or 31 guys hit the portal. You got 24 freshmen. That's a little bit of a youth movement with new guys. Like, how quickly do you think that can take based on what happened a year ago?
Well, I think it's not a total rebuild. A lot of the guys replacing the guys who left were recruits that they were really excited about, or 4-star guys, really talented guys. So they feel like there's more general talent on the roster this year. It's just a little more youthful, like you said, but not necessarily all freshmen. Malik Washington, the quarterback, being one of the biggest, examples of freshmen expected to help the team this year. But they also brought in a lot of pretty solid transfers. They have a bunch of transfers who should help them at several key positions. So they are relying on unproven talent, but there are some guys, sophomores, juniors, who should be pretty good.
Jeff, you brought up Malik Washington, expected to start at quarterback as a true freshman. DB mentioned the rest of the youth movement. What does that do with your expectations for the season? Obviously, we've seen really talented quarterbacks start as true freshmen that, really tend to have a little bit of a learning curve in that freshman year. What does that do for you when you're looking at this season and how you expect to go?
Yeah, I mean, you guys know as well as anybody what it's like for true freshmen to be starting the Big Ten. It's definitely a challenge. You're definitely going to take some lumps. It's hard to predict like a ton of wins with that, given you have a true freshman and a lot of question marks elsewhere. On the flip side, they play a very soft first 3 non-conference games. So if he is the starter, he'll have time to kind of get his sea legs. And, by all accounts over there, they say that he's lived up to the billing and then some, not only in terms of his physical ability, but also his leadership and ability to learn the system and all the intangibles. So, the question is, you really need a unicorn to have a winning season with a true freshman quarterback. So the question is he going to be that unicorn this year?
So so Jeff, and I was talking about Coach Loxley's recruiting prowess. He's done a really good job, and guys continue to hit the drafts, right? Like he gets guys that get paid on Sundays. Has that become like the benchmark for darts, or is it, well, we're getting good players, eventually we'll break through? Like, which way do you kind of see it going to date?
I think the mindset is more just about, like, a lot of it, like I said, it's about resources. I think he feels like he was out-resourced the past several years under NIL. But most of the NFL guys they've gotten have been lower 3, maybe a handful of 4 stars, but I think for them, in terms of the draft, it's just a good selling point, that we have all these guys going to the NFL, and very few of them were highly regarded recruits, so we can develop you into that.
So you're going to want to be able to get stops, improve the defense from a year ago. We've heard a lot from guys like Wingate and Jalen Husky, but they were also there last year in that same locker room. Is that a pro this year, that you bring some experience back there with some leadership? They understood what happened a year ago. Is it good that they can know some history, but not, for lack of a better term, kind of be held captive by it?
Yeah, 100%. Both of those guys have taken the biggest vocal leadership roles on the defense and maybe the team as a whole. And, I think experiencing last year is definitely a benefit. You want to have, after a season like that, you don't mind necessarily replacing a lot of players, but you want to have at least a few guys who've been there and can lead. And so I think those two are arguably the 2 best players on the defense, maybe the best 2 on the team. So, that's the hope, is that those kind of guys will lift everyone else up.
Jeff, what positional unit are you looking at as kind of an X factor for Maryland on what their season can end up looking like?
Well, that's a tough one because there's a few for them. The offense and defensive line are both X factors. Offensive line was really poor last year, struggled all season, didn't really open up many running holes, and the quarterback then, Billy Edwards, was beaten up pretty bad. So to me, that's probably number 1, but 1B would be the defensive line, where you lost 2 guys to the NFL draft. You don't have a lot of proven guys. They have some good players and some good transfers and young guys, but it's still both of those are still big question marks.
Who leads the way up front on the offensive line? Is it Wright?
Yeah, arguably Isaiah Wright. Last year he arrived from Buffalo, and there was talk he might be their best offensive lineman, and then he was lost for the season, never played. So he's a guy. Alan Heron is a guy last year who transferred from a lower level of college football, Division II school in Georgia, and struggled to adjust. They say that he's been a different guy this year, so he could be the anchor there too. So, they're optimistic about being improved, but when you have a lot of the same guys back, you really need to see it to believe it.
What happens with the ground game replacing a stud?
I actually think they might be upgraded there. Nolan Ray is the fastest player on the team. I think he's, has potential to be one of the most dynamic running backs in the conference. Last year, like I said, the running game struggled largely because of the offensive line. He still averaged 5 yards a carry. Now with Roman Hemby at Indiana, he'll be the guy. And Hemby the last year or two really wasn't hitting the home run very often. So I think you have a real chance to have a more consistent home run hitter back there.
That's interesting. Another man's trash is another man's treasure, or one man's trash is another man's treasure. Hemby is a guy that comes up in like this key departure, new arrival in Bloomington that is kind of like this shiny new toy. It's interesting to get the perspective of from the Terps side, where it's like I get the name, but we got to take a deeper dive in terms of the production, in terms of what was happening in the backfield. Is that kind of your stance on that departure?
Yeah, absolutely. And not to denigrate him, he's a really good player. He's accomplished a lot and an exceptional person off the field. But, that first year he was very explosive, hit a lot of big ones, and a little fewer the next year. And then last year, and again, the offensive line didn't help, but he wasn't really breaking many tackles. So the question is, was that a wear and tear thing for him, or a thing where you need the offensive line to open up big holes for you, or was it, the way that you're using him? So I guess we'll find out at Indiana. If he has a huge year at Indiana, we'll know the answer.
Jeff, last one from me here. Obviously, we talked a lot about the new players and departures and things like that. We haven't yet touched on the new coordinators on each side of the ball as well. How much is that factoring in as you look at this season and looking at everything new for Maryland with Pep Hamilton and Ted Monachino?
Yeah, they really need those guys to pan out, to be upgrades. Pep and Loxley have been close friends for years, so there's a feeling there that on Loxley's end that he'll be an extension of Loxley as a play caller. He's been in the NFL. He's worked with some pretty big-time quarterbacks like Justin Herbert and Andrew Luck. So they feel like, he's the perfect guy to come in right as you have this potentially generational quarterback recruit in Malik Washington. And then on defense, Ted Monachino is kind of a mystery, really, because he spent most of his career in the NFL, hasn't been a college defensive coordinator before. It does sound like he'll be more of an attacking kind of style. Last year they were pretty conservative, and the sack numbers were way down, and so they feel like he'll be a little more aggressive. But again, he's never been there before, so there's no track record really to look at.
Yeah, he and Rob Ryan I'm fascinated with as Rob Ryan lands in SC as guys with such pro backgrounds. And it's not the first, right? Guys make it, but right here at home in the Big Ten. So last one for Pep, about Pep, Jeff. He's used to dealing with the media. He's very his delivery is it's interesting. How does his delivery in terms of dealing with the NFL media and the questions that he was asked and the pressure from where he came from, how does that play in with your media in terms of the kind of the candor in his delivery? What about has Pep's personality kind of endeared itself to the media yet?
Yeah. Well, it's really early to say. The only availability he's had really was on Maryland's local media day. But, for him, having been in the NFL where it's the big leagues and you're getting tough questions constantly, and as opposed to Maryland where, you're not, it's a million times easier, softer media lens, so he was insightful, smooth, seemed open. I think he's, this to him in terms of handling the media, this is small time compared to where he's been before.
That's Jeff Ermann, founder of Inside MD Sports. Jeff, appreciate the time, and I'm sure we'll talk to you again soon.
Sounds great. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Jeff.
That's Jeff Ermann previewing Maryland as we go through Nebraska's schedule. We'll
Martinez.
continue this next week.
He did say interesting.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
I mean, you know what it reminded me of is he's describing Monachino. There's a lot of John Butler in what he described there.
I was kind of, I wanted
long
a little,
time NFL assistant. I know John Butler has coordinated defenses before, but it's been a long time. Coming back to college, more aggressive than his predecessor. It's interesting. There's some parallels there.
These guys, the NFL guys coming back to the college game. I still think you have to work more in college.
I do too. I think college is a harder job.
Can Rob Ryan last in Los Angeles?
Good Lord, who knows?
I think he's just coaching linebackers, but he got a nice title.
Well, what was the rest of the title?
I think he's assistant
to the head coach.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a nice title. Maybe I'll get one of those one of these days.
And remember, they upgraded defensively, according to that fan base last year with Len.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We'll be back tomorrow to wrap up the week here on Hurrdat Sports Live.
See you. Have a good day. Love you.